What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Generally Speaking. We are early for a PLD project. So usually I do these things in the dead of the night when no one else can really watch me. I don't know why. It's just how it happens to be sometime. But tonight we're not having chilled action on called action. So I decided let's do Eastern friendly time. East Coast, rather. I know some people are not even in America, so that's different for somebody else. But for us, it's Eastern Standard Friendly Time here. Welcome again. My name is PLD. It's me. It's PLD. I have I did it right. I'm so happy I did it right. I'm always pointing the wrong way. To my left, we have the wonderful, my work side piece, as we call her now on Chilled Action, Miss Kelsey Kirkland. How are you doing, girl?
Doing good. Excited to be here. Excited to get to be on this list in particular. I have opinions that I will be excited to share. So
I should actually say, so I do this all at once. We are doing a Star Wars tier tonight. I'm so excited to do it. Last night you saw we did Batman and DCEU, but I've been wanting to do Star Wars for a while, but I had to get a couple of people certainly on this particular list, so I had to wait and make it work. Tonight we made it work. But Kelsey, why don't you tell the folks when you came to love Star Wars, where you're coming from, so we can get you where your list picks are going to be coming from.
Yeah. So when I don't even remember, like 7 maybe, my dad took me to a all-day screening of the original trilogy at a movie theater, and I had never seen anything with Star Wars related to that point, and it was one of the best days of my life. In fact, our car died while we were in the movie theater. We were trying to get jumper cables and stuff, and I'm just sitting there like pretending to fight with lightsabers and everything like that. I didn't care. We were stuck in a parking lot because I was just so excited from the movies. So that was the birth of my love of Star Wars. But really, during my divorce, I kind of really latched onto it, and like it became everything to me. So I started reading books, playing the video games, and so that kind of like escalated it a little bit. But it's always been there, though.
Okay. All right. Real quick, are you a canon junkie, or do you do Legends at all? Have you gotten into
I love Legends. There's a lot of stories in Legends I would like to become canon. So one day. Maybe.
Well, underneath Kelsey there is one of my good buddies in the Action Army of Paul, of course. Even though he's a Packer fan, I do love him because his Packers are kicking the shit out of my Bears tonight. That's why I'm here, not watching the game. Jerry Morris, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. They're winning so easily. I mean, I figured I could show up to this and not even have to worry about them losing. So that's what I'm here for.
So tell us about your love of Star Wars, where it came from, and your canon versus Legends, kind of where you stand on all that.
Well, honestly, I don't even remember when I watched my first Star Wars movie because it has been ingrained in me. It's my family's one thing we all love. I remember watching when I was a kid all the original trilogy. And I'm a little younger, so, I grew up, but it was literally, we didn't watch a lot of movies. So we would go when we did, like on a Friday night, would be movie night. We'd argue for about an hour about what we were watching. Half would want to watch this, half would. Eventually, we'd all just end up, okay, let's just watch Star Wars. And we'd all just watch Star Wars. Didn't matter the movie, we just love Star Wars.
Perfect.
So I grew up like that, and my first actual movie I ever saw in a theater was Attack of the Clones.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes. Honestly, my passion for Star Wars came when Yoda pulled out his lightsaber in Attack of the Clones, and I knew this was my favorite franchise. Nothing's ever going to change again.
Wow, I love that. See, I love that. I love when people come to the prequels, or they've come to the sequels, or they're like old as dirt like me and just watch the original trilogy in the theater. But we'll get there. Right below me, underneath me here, is one of my favorite people in the world as well. I got to be on the Holocron with her, and her on Let's Get Ready to Talk Schmodown podcast. So she's returning the favor, and she's going to be on my Star Wars show here on PLD Projects. Miss Bedore, how are you doing?
Hello. So good to be here, man. We've been talking about this for legit 2 months.
Indeed,
it just doesn't work. But I was like, we made it work, and it's worth it, and it's a good one.
We keep at it till we make it work. And we can talk about yourself. You're a Star Wars lore. How you came to it, and where you're coming from.
Okay, so when I was a kid, my cousin got Star Trek, and it freaked me out. So I just stayed away from Star Trek and Star Wars until I was like way older. Star Trek still bores. Like I watch Star Trek, it bores me. I'm sorry. But after I got injured, I was on bed rest for a very long time, and I watched all of Star Wars up until Like The Last Jedi was the first one I saw in theaters.
Mhm.
So I watched all of the Star Wars like 3 months before The Last Jedi came out, and I binged it all. Like I was in bed, like I had nothing better to do. So I binged it all, and by the time I was done with it, and I've said this before, like I thought like the Star Wars world was real, and if a movie can get me there, then I'm just in love. And then I got to know more about the lore, more about the characters, the books. I loved a lot of the books, and it just became a big part of my life.
Awesome. And just to round it out, I'll let you guys know, yes, I'm an old man. Empire Strikes Back was the first movie I ever saw in theater. Scared the shit of Yoda. But it began this love that I've never let go of. So more than anything else, this is the franchise I always return to in any way, shape, or form. Legends, canon, it's all good for me. Real quick before we start, I do want to say, Alan Smithy, thank you. Good call. We mentioned this yesterday. Shout out to David Prowse. He I know a lot of people think of James Earl Jones when they think of Vader, like obviously wise, but he had a physical presence that couldn't be denied, especially in the OT. All those moves he made, the looks he made, it was really brilliant. So that is what we're doing there. We picked a list. Now we wanted to do a Star Wars character list. There's some I always do the pre-made ones. I haven't had time to really sit down and make my own. That's a lot of work to do. So I picked a pre-made list. And it had about 69 characters on it as it is. It was a pretty extensive list of the major characters, and that's what we wanted to do. We didn't want to sit down. We could sit down here and do the list that have like hundreds and legends and canon. I could do that, but we only have 3 hours, so so we got to cut it down just a smidge. So I got this list, and we're going to do basically. It seems like it's basically all of the major characters in canon, in the films, also in Clone Wars and Rebels. It looks like, and through all the trilogies and everything else. We seem to think we have everybody locked down. We did notice that there were 2 big glaring omissions that we wanted to add. So we're just going to add those in at the end. So without further ado, let's just get this going. Let me start this out. Here are our lists. We have S tier, A through F, and 69. Well, actually 71 now. We're adding those 2. So we should decide real quick. How many do we have?
The number.
We did ruin the number. That's unfortunate. What do you think we should do as far as how many on S tier? Do you think we should limit it to maybe 7 in S tier?
I don't think so, because Star Wars, there's a lot of S tier players in it.
Okay.
There's a lot of S tier players, like especially in this list. Like, I don't know. I feel like we can move them around later if it gets too crowded.
Okay, yeah, we could. I guess we could make it so it's a little bit open end at this point. If we decide that that tier is too much, then we'll say, well, let's talk about moving it down. So.
Yeah,
Because I can think about 15 people I want to put in S tier.
yeah, exactly.
That's why I think we're gonna have to have a conversation at some point. That's what I think.
Yeah.
But I guess we won't have this conversation until we need to. I'll go with that. All right, let's start right from the beginning. Get to there. The first one we got here is Ahsoka Tano. What a way to start. Now, just so everybody knows, real quick, I always start by putting it in B just to put it up there. And it doesn't mean I'm peeping in B. That's not where I'm placing it. It's just a placeholder until we talk. So, without further ado, Ahsoka Tano. This is a very interesting character right off the get, especially as far as generations go, I think. I'm curious what you guys think about it first.
I think she's S tier.
S tier. Okay. Kelsey?
Her arc is crazy. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, no, I agree with S tier. At first, like her first appearance of Ahsoka was kind of iffy, and then when she came back with the Clone Wars series, she's amazing. And honestly, her book is probably one of my favorite Star Wars books. I just love everything I got to learn about her and things like that. So I have her as S tier as well.
All right. Jerry, what do you think?
She's so hard. To me, she's S tier, but honestly, I could see her as being the highest of A's.
Okay.
Because she just doesn't have the big movie presence, but every single thing else she has. Great character work, amazing books. She's spanned 3 different shows. I mean, she's amazing. That's what she is.
I just feel like this is going to be one of our hardest decisions, and it's right off the bat because she is probably the most important non-movie character, I think.
Yes.
At this point.
Yeah.
Not counting the
100%.
Clone Wars movie. Not counting the Clone Wars movie, obviously.
Yeah.
We got her in live action now, so that's a big
Mhm.
thing. I think the only one that you could even argue would potentially be up there is not even on this list, I don't think, because it'd be Revan possibly from the Legends thing is that high potentially. But otherwise, I'm kind of agreeing that she might be S tier. I could see her being bumped down to A tier, but I think I'm okay with starting her at S tier for now and then seeing what happens.
Yeah, I mean, like her character, like she's not in the movies, but what we learned from the Clone Wars, she's basically a big reason for the downfall of Anakin.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And more importantly, I think one of the amazing things about it is how her growth as a character. Because when she came into the Clone Wars movie, I hated her. And most people did hate her. She was like so annoying at first. The Sky Guy, the Snips, it was annoying. And first of all, it was hard to even imagine. Like, wait, whoa. We're starting the Clone Wars. Anakin had a Padawan during the Clone Wars. What the fuck is this, right? That's my initial thought was like, what the fuck is this at? Well, this is going to be shit. And I was proved right to myself on the movie. Now, I'm like crying like a baby at the end of the Clone Wars arc. I'm like yelling like a little girl when she appears in Mandalorian. I mean, this is like how far she's come in such a short amount of time. I'm comfortable with the S tier for now. So.
Yeah, just to say, the first time I saw her, I thought she was probably potentially the worst character ever.
She was Jar Jar.
I'm not kidding you. I saw her in live action, and I was just so happy. I had other things that I didn't like, but I was just so happy when I saw her twin-bladed lightsabers light up. It literally made my day. Just that alone, right there, and that speaks to the power of her character.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Danny, depends what kind of fanfic you're writing. I might want to read that, but we'll get into that. All right, let's move down to the next character here. We got Anakin Skywalker. Ooh, I think you can't not have him in S tier.
Here's the question: Is Vader on this list?
Vader is on this list.
Vader is on this list, and I'm gonna argue why he should not be on S tier. Anakin from the prequels is not S tier. Anakin from the Clone Wars series is S tier.
I see what you're saying, but I think at the same time, I would put them at the same. It's still the same character, whether or not he wouldn't have been an S tier without having the Clone Wars. That's an argument you could make. But because if you have had the Clone Wars, it's still the same character.
Okay, with that logic, I could agree with it. If we're gonna include Clone Wars,
I sort of do. I see the Clone Wars performance as S tier, and then like everything he does in the prequels. Honestly, as a character, he is not great, and so I put him like B and C. So to me, that balances out to like more like an A tier, in my opinion.
I would say this.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't mind him being S tier at all, because for me, if we're gonna choose Anakin, I'm gonna choose Clone Wars Anakin, and he is S tier for me.
There's a complete difference between Anakin and Vader. I love it if they just had one. There's no way that's not S tier. But Anakin by himself, it's hard for me to put him in S tier.
Well, if we want to do it, and this would be me calling an audible, I can skip Anakin and put him in like this skip tier, and we can put Vader in as one person. Say that it's Anakin and Vader, because it is one character.
It is one person,
even though it's Anakin and Darth Vader. It's still like. So if you're comfortable doing that, and I think I am too, maybe make it easier. I'll just add this skip little add a row below.
That worked, because Anakin and Vader being one character is such an amazing story.
And with that,
it's so amazing. It's hard to separate the two.
And with that, especially if you do that, there's no way he's not S tier.
Yeah, there's no way.
In fact, I am almost right now to put him in number one at this point. And can argument possibly, but right now that's my number one. Okay.
I don't have any problems with that at all.
Okay. If anybody wants to yell at me, I know a lot of people like to yell at me at during these tier lists. Feel free to do it. But of course, you could use Streamlabs, and then it's good for me as well. If you're going to yell at me, use streamlabs.com/PLD projects, and I'll read your yelling insults out loud. So, all right. Next character we got here is Bail Organa. This is a tough one for me.
Yeah, he's not big in terms of like the story, but his character, like what he did, is still big. Like he still took Leia. He still like helped with the rebellion.
Not just helped; he was an integral part of the rebellion.
Yeah, he was. He kept the secret. Like,
Yeah, he's an important character.
I would
He's a
put
very
him B.
important character, but you don't see him very much. He's actually not actually a character who appears a lot. So it's almost
Yeah.
like if you're giving him higher levels, it's because of the myth of Bail Organa. First of all, he doesn't even appear in the original trilogy. He's mentioned. He dies in Alderaan. You see him a little bit during the prequels. You see him a little bit during the Clone Wars, and of course, you see him in Rogue One.
And Rebels too.
And Rebels, a little bit in Rebels as well. Yep.
So you do get to know him a bit better as a character in the books, like the Leia book, getting to see him as his role as a father and things like that. So that book alone probably makes me enjoy him as a character more than anything else. But yeah, I wouldn't put him very high still. I think that justifies like a B level.
Yeah, I would put him like high C's, low B.
I could do that too. I think for right now, I'll just keep him in C.
I would argue he's B because of his importance in the universe. In the universe, he's an integral part of the rebellion, and he's known as you watch watch one of the books. He's got a statue on Coruscant.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of things where in the universe he's very important. You just if you take that part into it.
Okay. Yeah, are we taking like all of canon stuff into this, or are we just going with what we got from the movies and shows?
I say we can go with all canon. I mean, I don't know the video games very well. I'm not a gamer, so I can't really put that much into it from the games and stuff. But all the other canon, I'm willing to look at myself. I could put him in B. Like I said, I wouldn't argue either way. I could see him being pushed down to C as we add more characters.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's see. Okay, we got BB-8.
Oh, little cutie.
I almost put him in C for cutie. I mean, I do love BB-8, but
yeah,
I just feel like
I'd put him in B.
Okay.
B or low A. Low
A. That
low A.
I gotta say, like, to me, I mean, I hate to say it a little bit, this might be me being generational and being an OT guy. I do love the sequel trilogy. I love the prequel trilogy. To me, BB-8 just seemed like the knockoff for R2. It was like we need the R2 trilogy.
Yeah, but he did like have his moments, and it's still a character you cared about at the end.
You're not wrong. I can't put him in A tier though. I definitely can't see it.
I put him in B. Like if we're gonna compare him to R2, like R2 is S tier, but I think he is more B.
I could see putting him above Bail in B tier myself. Anybody argue that, Cherry?
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, but in my tier, he's low B or even C. So him being in front of Bail kind of doesn't make sense. But I'm not gonna I'm gonna choose my battles. So.
All right.
I'm not gonna fight it, but I don't like it because he's not. I mean, there's a few points where he's integral, but it seemed like he was more of just a merchandise person. I'm trying to be nice here.
Well, you can say that about literally any of the droids in the sequel trilogy.
You're not wrong. It's just sometimes it's just like he's there. I don't know.
I would say the only argument I would make for BB-8 being over Bail is that he made more important in-story appearances than Bail did overall. Bail was a character development piece for Leia or for Obi-Wan. He impacts the story, but not as directly. He's more of a mythic figure than he was. BB-8 actually had the map to Luke Skywalker. He actually was helping him out throughout the whole sequel trilogy. So he's more active in it. I feel Bail's more passive to me. If that makes sense.
I get it. It's just Bail impacts the story so much you just don't get enough in the movies. Which I see what you're saying. In the movies, BB-8's just way and above and beyond. It's just the other stuff. I disagree.
All right, we'll let her. Pat's want to let you know. I see your question in chat. We're skipping Anakin because we're going to put Anakin and Vader together because it's one character.
They're the same person.
I mean, I understand why you would separate them to a degree, but for me, the importance in the whole saga is the one character. So,
yeah, I mean, I'd still put Anakin S tier.
I would too. I'd actually put Anakin and Vader both in S tier, but it's I guess it's the way I can save an S tier spot too. Maybe making it easier for us.
Yeah.
That's fine, Danny. You don't have to agree. I get both sides. I just, it's easier that way, I think.
Does Danny want him higher or lower?
I don't know. Yeah, Danny, where would you, I'll let you listen. Where would you put Anakin if I put him up there? Would you put him in anywhere? So, I don't know. Bo-Katan. She's gained some credence recently with her being in Mandalorian, I think. My initial thought hurts me to say C, but
It hurt me too because I was thinking the same thing.
I actually have to agree with you too.
Yeah, I
It's-
think she's a very Sunny level character.
Like, I love her and I love her story. I love that she was like the ruler of Mandalore for a second.
for a hot second.
Yeah, I love her story, and I loved when I saw her. Like, I freaked out. I was clapping when I saw her in The Mandalorian.
Right?
But
Yeah,
there's way more characters that I would put above her.
exactly. I love Katie Sackhoff too, but at the same time, she hasn't done a whole lot yet. She's had a couple of arcs in Clone Wars. She's had the appearance in Mandalorian. She has some appearances in Rebels, but it's not very. It's more sidebar stuff. I think she could definitely be. She is someone I would say has a bullet on her. She could improve. I have a feeling if she appears, like my own prediction, that she's probably going to be in the Bad Batch series. That's my thoughts. I think she's going to make a lot of appearances in that. I think that could bump her eventually. But for right now, I'm going to put her. I think we'll put her in C. The potential.
Yeah,
is
with her having the possibility, even in the Mandalorian,
and
she could go up very quickly. But I think right now, with what we got of her,
or potential Ahsoka series if that happens. That's she could have big appearances in that as well. So she has the potential to gain more. But right now we'll go with the same. Here's an interesting character, and I don't know. I think everybody sighs. I think it's the same reason why everybody sighs. Boba Fett. I want to hear everybody else say what they say. Just like
we're including Clone Wars, right?
we're including everything.
So even like I'd put him D.
Yep. That's
I would not. Because if we're including everything, we're including comics, we're including books. He's a solid B character. He's not A, he's not S. He's got the power of the original trilogy, which he got overblown. Honestly, he just did because he was cool. But in the comics, he's shown to be one of the most feared bounty hunters, and he's basically Vader's personal bounty hunter who goes through and finds out who Luke Skywalker is, which is a catalyst for everything in Episode 5.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that is done, he's basically integral in that. That's why I would put him B at least.
Okay. See, I actually go back and forth with both of you at this point. I think that he was in the original trilogy and he was well overrated by everybody. People were like, "Oh my God, Boba Fett! Oh my God, Boba Fett!" They were kneeling at the altar of Boba Fett. He was like the fanboy's favorite character. But it got to the point so much where I think there was so much backlash against him that it was almost too much backlash against him. So I kind of swung back around to the other side, like saying, "Well, he's not that bad, though, right?"
So averaging out, I think put him C tier.
I think C tier is okay. I think I think honestly, right now, as of right now, he's definitely more important than Bo-Katan has been overall. Not by much, but
and then again, he's another one that could go higher because of the Mandalorian.
Very much so. Very much so. His comic books and appearances definitely helped him out a lot. I agree with that as well. His reputation is when you think about the most feared bounty hunters, Boba Fett is still number one. I know Cad Bane gets a lot of love. I don't even know if Cad Bane's on this list. I don't think we saw Cad Bane, unfortunately. But
No, he's not.
that's a mess. The thing is, you know who else is on this list? We're adding to this as a year. I'm going to add to our private chat. We're going to add really quickly. I'm going to throw them in there and see if you agree with me. Obviously, one of them's Cad Bane, and second, yeah, I'm putting him in there, I think, as well.
Yes.
He's got to be in here.
So we're going to make that. We're going to in there as well. So we'll get back to them. All right.
We have 4 extra.
For extra. We're just going to have to remember where to put them at that point. Okay. So I'm going to say moving over down to C-3PO. Okay. This is a tough thing because he's so OG. He is like one of
important.
He's very important. And to have him any lower than like an A seems blasphemy to me.
Yeah.
To me, there's no way he's not at least an A. So to me, we're talking about whether he's an S or an A.
See, and
I don't think he's an S
Yeah.
because he does have flaws, but I think he's at like high A's.
that's about where I put him too. He does have some integral important jobs within all the movies, stuff like that, but he's also kind of just there for comedic value a lot of the time and doesn't contribute to situations that are happening other than jokes. So I think that does bring him down. So I think A is a solid place.
A is a solid place for him.
Yeah, he has his moments that I just absolutely adore, but
Right.
it's not enough to put him in S tier.
I agree. All right. I expected a little bit more on that. I'll have to say. Oh, all right.
You wanted pushback?
I expected a little pushback. I wasn't sure. The thing was, I was expecting if I had to push back on you, or you guys were going to push back on me, but we didn't. Get so, all right, Rex.
S.
S. I don't know if I can put him at S.
I love him. I love him so much. He's very important to the story. He's literally Anakin's right-hand man.
And Ahsoka's right-hand man too.
Yeah, and he was there for Ahsoka. He protected her after Order 66. He helped with the rebellion after he got older, after he got kicked from the Empire. I would put him S tier. And besides, my dog's name is Rex. So.
I do love Rex. I do love Rex quite a bit. He's definitely my favorite. I think he's obviously, we have a few other clone troopers in here, and I think that obviously he's the highest ranked of the clone troops, of the named clone troops. But S tier is gonna be so loaded for iconic characters. I don't think there's enough iconicness about him. The fact is, he is one of the clones away. He's a special clone, an important clone.
Okay, let's give him his due.
He saved a lot of clones too. If you think about it, he got his chip on, like, he remembered what happened, and he got his chip out on his own.
So, yeah.
He didn't really get it out on his own, but he's one of the only clones to actually fight it.
He fought it though without it coming out.
Right? He didn't get it out. He still almost carried out the order, but he fought it enough for Ahsoka to knock him out and then take it out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree on that aspect of it.
I love him. I love Rex. This is going to be blasphemy. I love Rex more than Ahsoka. Okay, personally. But he's not even close to her when it comes to character or anything like that.
Yeah.
To me, he has to be A, and that hurts me so bad. Don't get me wrong. I love that character.
I love him so much,
I do love him. I can't put him in S tier. I don't think I can put him in S tier. I do like him enough to keep him at A tier, potentially. Him or 3PO, I don't know. I think 3PO has more importance overall. Overall, he's just better. It's almost like sometimes characters like 3PO have, if you've been around for as long as you have, if you were around in episode 4 began, you're still around in episode 9 or beyond. Something about that longevity that gives you extra credit, I think, as far as tier lists go. I think. I'm gonna say A. I think we can go with A. What do you think? Are you okay with this at this point? Good enough at this point? Right where he is, like under 3PO at this point?
Mm-hmm. I'm good.
Sorry, but
I want him over 3PO because I like him so much.
I know this is me personal feelings. Like, that's how it goes. But I get it.
But 3PO also has one of my favorite lines in any trailer, so you know.
That's true. Okay. All right, let's move on. I think this is one we can agree more on. Cassian Andor. I liked him. I liked him in Rogue One. I just don't think he's done enough yet to earn much more. He's only been in one movie and a book and a comic. I know he's got a series coming out, so obviously that could definitely be bumped up soon. Mm-hmm. Change a lot, but right now, I don't. He's good, but he's not anything too important yet. So I would say D, to be honest with you, at this point.
Yeah, I'm literally what you're doing with the mouse is literally how I'm feeling.
My brain's going.
I love Rogue One. I'm a big fan of Rogue One. I just don't think that.
He just hasn't done enough. He just hasn't, and we haven't seen enough of his character yet.
Thrawn, you got a lot of hot takes, and I love your hot takes. I love your hot takes. Thrawn and I actually talk about Star Wars a lot, and he's got some very great viewpoints as well. I can't put him in B.
I mean,
if you were in C,
technically,
I could say
Jyn Erso stole it. Technically,
it was them both together. I guess I could say I could see them.
I
both.
mean, if it wasn't for Jyn Erso, he wouldn't have known that Stardust was the
That's
name.
true.
Yep.
That'll give you.
But if it also wasn't for him, Jyn Erso wouldn't have
Gotten there
been
in the first.
shot.
That's true.
Yeah, but again, I'll rebuttal that. If it wasn't for Jyn Erso, then they wouldn't have went in the first place.
Cast the N-word and shoot the guy.
There's so many things.
This point.
No, because like they were listening to their superiors, and Jyn was like, "Let's go."
Right.
So.
Well, actually, he's the one that got all the people together. That
Yeah,
brought
but it
the
was
group
her
together.
idea to say, "Let's go."
But he already had the group there when she said, "Let's go." And he's like, "Well, I got a bunch of people here that have fought all their lives and were born in this."
So what you're telling me is he followed her.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing too.
Got you there. You can't.
I'm not saying he's the leader. I'm saying he's a very important general.
I think they're both pretty important characters together.
Yeah. I'm
I'll
just messing
say-
with you.
I'm willing to keep him at C for now. I could see him being pushed down to D, but he's important enough that I'll keep him at C for now,
Okay,
right,
yeah.
right about there. Oh, Chewbacca.
I think we all agree. I think.
Yeah,
I
I
think
He's
we all
us. I
agree.
mean, to me, there's no question.
Yeah, I think we all agree.
Can't go wrong with Chewbacca being there.
He
Yeah.
stranded three different three different trilogies. He's in the Clone Wars. He's the
Probably
best.
Yeah, he's the family dog, and you got to put the family dog in his chair because that's what he is basically. I mean, I'm going to say something a little blasphemic in that there's a chance I could see him getting bumped down to A if there's enough people in S tier. If we get decide to go that route, that's not an argument we need to make now because he's probably the lower S tier as far as some of the others go. But I do love him to put him in S. Put him enough. I do love him enough right now to put him in S tier. So I'm gonna get my hot
I
take
may
out early.
fight you when we get to that point.
Yeah, me too.
I might fight myself. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it definitively is going to happen. I'm just saying, like when you're looking at the characters in the rest here so far, he's the lower. I can actually see him even being above Ahsoka. To be honest, with you, partially, but
That would be tough, but it's close.
but I'll leave it as it is right now.
Okay.
And yes, I did. He's the family dog, whether you like it or not. That's what his role basically is.
He's smarter than everybody else. He just plays dumb.
Oh, that's true. That's true. All right. Let's see. We got Chopper.
I love Chopper so much.
I like Chopper. I do like Chopper, but it's almost like if BB-8 is the R2 of the sequel trilogy, Chopper's like the BB-8 of the Rebels at this point. It's like you gotta have the droid in there, and I like his attitude. I do like him. I think he's a great character. I just don't think he's in a list of pure importance. Low C, high D for me at best. I would actually, if you put him down lower, I wouldn't even be just too shocked. I do like the character, but comparatively,
Chopper is that cranky uncle that just is in everything it does, helps out, but complains about it the whole time. And I
Yeah.
love it so much.
Yeah.
that's it. Though. That's my argument right there. Like him a lot, but
Chopper based.
super. Yeah.
No. Let's put him in C, at least for right now.
Yeah.
I will let you go and put him in C for now, but he's going to be bumped down because we're going to eventually run out of room in C at this point, I think. So,
Okay.
All right. Generic clone trooper, the first order series, or the first series, clone troopers. I don't know. I mean, they're good and they're important overall, but he's a generic guy, so I don't know why we put him anywhere but F. I don't know.
Yeah,
what you
they're
guys-
not specific, but overall, like if we're gonna be putting all of the troopers that we have in F, I would put them in high F.
That's I think
That's fair.
I think we'll put them
Yeah.
all in the same area. We'll just have to rank them almost as a subsection. Almost they almost deserve their
Yeah.
own. I
Yeah.
almost want to create like a second thing and just say,
Troopers.
maybe that's what we'll keep F right now. We'll go from there. All right.
Trooper tier.
It's okay. Commander Cody.
Love of my life, my
Ooh,
dog, my dog.
That's right. That's right.
Uh, I'd put him next to Rex.
No.
No,
I put him lower than Rex. Lower than Rex, just because he went through Order 66. But still, what he did in the Clone Wars is amazing.
I gotta tell you, I'm disagreeing with you on that. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that he is. I mean, he was with Obi-Wan. Obviously, he's Obi-Wan's right-hand man. But I don't. You don't remember much. I don't remember much about him in the Clone. I mean, yes, he's there in the Clone Wars, but what memorable things did he really do in the Clone Wars?
well, didn't him and Rex stop the troopers that were gonna
The
attack?
one that was spying,
Yeah.
the one that was sending information out to the enemies. Yep.
The only thing you remember about him, really, truly, is the fact that he shot Obi-Wan in Episode 3. That's his big claim to fame, honestly. I mean, he has some moments with Rex, but Rex is far more important than.
In the Clone Wars, yeah, because like it more focused on Anakin and Ahsoka, but
I can't put him anywhere higher than C, to be honest with you.
I would put him then very high C.
I could definitely do this.
No. I have to say he's not more important than Bo-Katan or
Or Boba.
Boba Fett. Yeah.
This one's gonna break my heart.
I'm sorry to break your heart. I'm trying to break your heart. You can
So
remember.
look at the first one that broke my heart.
All right. And no, Throne, he was not. Cody was not. It was Rex, Gregor, and
Wolf.
Wolf. That's who it was. 3 of them. Yep. So I will put him in C for now, just because I don't want to kill Bedora. I'll just break her heart a little bit, but don't want to kill her.
Slowly over time.
I'll keep her alive. Okay, we got Coleman Trebor, which is a random Jedi to put in here. I got the whole Jedi
Yeah.
count.
Yeah.
I have no idea why.
I'd put him in F, honestly.
I'm good with that. I don't ever really remember him that well.
I just remember him on the Jedi Council,
Yeah.
and
That's all I remember too.
yeah, it's just like him sitting there, like, oh, Sharkhead.
I would put him below the troopers
Wow.
because we get
The
more.
troopers did more.
Yeah, they did. There's more about the troopers than there is about this guy. Honestly,
That's a good point. Right there, that about says it all.
the only thing I remember about him is Count Dooku. Oh no, Django. I think killed him like in no time flat.
Yeah. All right. I'll put him there. I don't care about him at all, honestly. And put on that was Echo that joined the Bad Batch. Okay. All right. Fox, as we decided. D at best for me. He's in a couple of episodes.
Yeah, best high Fs.
I mean, he's definitely better than the generic trooper.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
Because
not
he
much.
actually has a name in the story a little bit.
That's about it. So I'd say I'll put him in D for now. He probably pushed down.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, good. Dio.
He's cute.
Cute.
He's a good toy to buy your children for Christmas. That's
Yeah, but
that's about all I can say.
he was not important whatsoever.
No, not at all.
No,
Jimmy,
what
I'd
he
put
did-
lower. He's cute. I love him, but he's lower. Yeah.
He did. Didn't he have the map or something to do with Exegol? He knew some of the stuff there.
It was
But
in his.
literally, it was a throwaway line that
Yeah.
he knew something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was on the ship. He was on the ship, so
Yeah.
he had that memory. I don't think that's fine to me. I think he's not worth talking about, to be honest with you. He's cute.
Not really.
Honestly,
But
I'd put him higher than Coleman. That's how much that Jedi did nothing.
I'll go with that. You at least made me laugh a few times in this moment. So
Yeah.
I'll go. Ooh, Maul.
Oh,
Kelsey's eyes just perked up. I love Maul too.
I love Maul.
Kelsey's one true love.
Oh no, there's another one in there that's my true love, but Maul's up there.
That's
I
my
want
one
him
true
on
love.
S. I want him on S. So
I want
bad.
him on S too.
S.
Bedore, what do you say?
S.
You say yes. You guys are all saying S tier for Maul.
Yes.
Yes.
He is to me my second favorite villain over Palpatine, over everybody but Vader.
Wow.
I
mean, I
honestly, for me, what he did in Clone Wars, I'd put him over Vader.
Ooh,
And I
yeah.
would not fight that at
I
all.
wouldn't argue that much, really. He's up there
Well,
for
I
me
would
too.
not put him over Vader.
Let's
No,
put
no,
him right
no.
behind Vader then. We'll compromise.
No. I'm not saying on the list. I'm saying as my favorite.
Oh, okay.
I would put him above Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I would too.
All three putting him above Ahsoka.
Yes, it's a democracy.
Paul,
Oh, you
why
you were
don't
on
you talk?
the
Yeah,
show.
but on the show before, it's not. Paul just vetoes us
Yeah.
all the time.
But
So we try.
I try to be fair. I will put him in S tier. I'll put him in S tier. That's for sure. I'm okay with that. My
Like
initial,
if you think he's below, I would accept you putting him behind Ahsoka.
my initial instinct was to put him on A tier because I think there's going to be other people that are more important. But I'm okay with him on S tier because I think he's one of those that it's back and forth for me on.
And here's one of the reasons why. He's an important villain in one movie, major movie. Okay. And he's an important villain in 2 of the series. Integral villain in a lot of those characters' arcs. And he has one of the best lightsaber scenes of all time, one of the best deaths of all time, and he's literally one of the most heartbreaking characters of all time.
And he made me
And
squeal
that.
out loud when I saw Solo, like
Yeah.
to the whole audience could just hear me like. So I feel
Oh.
like that's
I will put him right. Are we okay with that for now? Right, for right now, maybe we can revisit it.
better than what you're talking about, but I'll okay, we'll compromise there.
I have a hard time putting him over Ahsoka. I think Ahsoka is a little more
I
important.
mean, Ahsoka is my all-time favorite character, and the fact that I can accept putting Maul over her
Does say
on
something.
a list, it says something.
So I will. All right, we can. I think we'll revisit at the end when we get through everybody to tweak. I think we're in the ballpark.
Yeah.
We're in the vicinity, yes.
Death Troopers.
They got to go below Clone Troopers. I mean,
Yeah, below
Yeah,
like
right
Clone
there.
Trooper is the first one. Like that one's not gonna change, I don't think.
I'm gonna go. I put him right there. I think actually, honestly, I think the
It's fair.
Death Troopers to me, I love them, but I still think they're overrated. Like they haven't done a whole lot. They're cool.
No.
They look cool, and they sound cool. It's like okay, so you just design a little bit of Stormtrooper, change a little bit, and I don't know. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna put them right.
and they're supposed to be the higher guard. They guard the admirals. They guard the higher ups.
Right.
But they're not a lot to them, honestly.
And yes, Malcolm, I am a Sith Lord, so that's how it works.
I love that.
Join the dark side.
Speaking
Love
of
the
Sith
shirt.
Lords,
S tier.
Yeah, definitely S
Yeah, he's
tier.
definitely S tier.
That's
S
No doubt
tier.
about
Yeah.
it. It's
I-
rare.
To me, he got lower in S tier after the Rise of Skywalker. Like I feel like that whole thing just made me like him less as a character.
ooh,
In his defense, it was a clone, it wasn't him.
True.
that's true. It was a clone.
But
I think we're all
Still.
in agreement he's an F tier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think
Yeah.
at this point, ballpark. We'll come back to rejiggering it later on.
Rankings.
Okay, we'll come back there. The Crimson Guard. Still better than Coleman.
Yes.
Still better
Better
than
than Dio.
Dio.
They didn't no, I would put them below Death Troopers because they didn't do anything except walk out of the ship with Palpatine.
And look
Well-
amazing, but that's
Well,
not
they did provide the humorous moment when Yoda came in to the.
Oh yeah.
Not-
Well, those were Senate guards.
yeah, that's
Not
true. But it's the same. I think it's the same. They developed over time, but it's the same type of thing.
I think they're at the end of Rebels too, but they're not that memorable. So
I personally put them over as the Death Troopers, but I'm not going to argue about it because I don't really care that much about it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So these guards are the same as the ones they just got like promoted. They're the same thing. They were drawn from there.
So, all right.
And, well, correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, because you know more about this. Lords of the Sith, is that canon?
Yes, Lords of this
Yes.
can. Yes.
So they can't. There's some of the they're bad in that book. They're really
Like
bad
good
in that
bad
book.
or bad bad? Because I haven't read that book yet.
They're
yeah,
they're
neither.
they're really good in that book. As in,
So
yeah.
they're badass.
yeah.
Yeah, that actually makes me want to put them up over the Death
I
Troopers.
honestly, just because I thought of that book, I'd put them above Death Troopers.
Okay.
Because in that book, they are the elite of the elite, and they keep up with Vader and Palpatine when they're going full force.
Agreed. All right. Wicket.
F tier.
No,
I
No.
hate Ewoks. I hate them so much.
Wow. No.
I hate
No
them.
way.
no
Definitely-
way.
If they
No, I don't hate
Jedi, I'd
Ewoks.
like them more.
I don't hate Ewoks, but I don't think he's less than Chopper.
Yeah, actually, I think Wicket's more important than Chopper.
I love
Overall.
Jedi, but he's not that important. And I would say he's not as more important than Chopper
No.
because we get nothing from him besides he's important. Don't get me wrong, and he's the cutest thing on two legs.
Because he's Ewok.
I'm not going to deny that.
Hey, they brought a lot of people in. That's true. He does have the appearance that he's important enough that he gets the appearance at the end of episode 9. As a big
I'll-
cameo. I mean, that's important. That shows some importance.
I'll give him. I'll say you guys can put him above Chopper only because of Warwick Davis.
I mean,
know
he
that.
did-
Warwick,
He did do like stuff for. He did help out when they were fighting in the Battle of Endor. He did create a diversion for Han to go inside. So
And he was the lead, even though it's Legends, he was the lead of 2 TV movies, Ewok Caravan of Courage and Ewok Battle for Endor. And
but
I
those
actually
movies
like
don't count.
I liked Battle for Endor quite a bit, to be honest
well,
with you.
we'll be watching it on the watch along with you.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm going to try to have on that one. to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I actually taped that and watched that a lot during the 80s or like late 80s, I think it was, when I was watching it. But yeah, so I'm going to put Wicked here.
Yeah.
If I could find Teak, I'd put Teak in this list somewhere, maybe, but I don't know. You guys, if you know who Teak is? No.
One.
You watch
Is he the
Battle
one
for
that
Endor.
dies?
No, Teak is the Battle for Endor, the TV movie. He's like this little really fast like creature that works with Wilford Brimley. And he's a cute character.
I did not watch that, so it's gonna
Yeah, I
be
do
first
throw
week.
I do throw would know. I do throw would know. He's awesome. Okay. I think this is going to be a hot take for me, but I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. Ezra Bridger.
Ezra?
I don't know.
He's B.
To me, he's got to be at least B. I love him so much. I love all
Yeah.
these characters so much, honestly.
Yeah. This is why I'm having a hard time. For me, it's like if I could choose, like they would be like S tier, A tier, and then a couple would be a couple in C, and that's it.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
To me, he has to be higher than BB-8. There's no
I-
question.
Yes,
I agree with that.
yes, higher than BB-8 for sure.
I just don't know if I want to fight for him in A.
Yeah.
Now, there are other characters in Rebels I'm going to fight for in A or maybe even S.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But him, he's one of the last Jedi, and he's probably still alive
Yeah.
in canon that we
We
know.
may find out in the Mandalorian.
I know.
I think we'll find out in the Ahsoka series that we're going to get. That's my thought.
Yeah, that's more my thought process if they're gonna do it, but it's not confirmed yet, so I'm gonna say Mandalorian.
I
But he was
get
an
it.
integral part of the beginning of the Rebel Alliance too.
He was a Jedi when there wasn't any Jedi. I mean, Jedi-ish when there wasn't any Jedi. He did take Thrawn out of the picture. That's true,
Yep.
Thrawn. I'm
Thrawn.
gonna put
Yeah,
him
and
in.
he took the one guy that could probably destroy the Rebels out of the picture.
I'll put him in A for now.
Sure.
I could see him being bumped down to high B.
I mean,
I
I'm
can
good
agree
with
with either A or B, but he's not S.
All right. In. If it was just Force Awakens, we were doing this in 2015, I'd put him up higher, actually. I think The Last Jedi
Yeah.
Rise Skywalker went downhill.
Yeah.
Through no fault of his own.
High C.
I don't care much about his character. He in Force Awakens he's okay, but he's just there, and I hate it because he was such a good actor playing such a good role.
Yeah.
He just was there.
Yeah. They definitely missed out on him.
I've done a lot.
I would put him above though Boba Fett and Bo-Katan
Yeah.
because he's a
I think
big
that's fair.
part in the lore of destroying the Last Order. So
Okay. I could do that. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. All right, we got 7 in C tier now, just so we're saying. So we have to start thinking about pushing up and down a little bit. We'll have to see that as we get going. It's almost hitting that time where I think we have to maybe edit a little bit. But all right. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good point there. Actually, Weston's a good guy. Great point. John Boyega's A or S tier, but Finn.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that
I
statement.
agree with that one.
All right. First Order Stormtrooper.
Above the guards.
Above those guys.
Yeah, that's where I put them.
Yes, sir.
Not gonna argue.
I don't
I'll
care
give it
enough.
for that.
Just because of what we got from Finn, because he was one of them, and then what we got from Jana.
That's a good-
You know that
That's a
there's
good
more
point.
story to them.
I'll give it to Bedore. That's good. That's a good point.
I didn't think about that. You're not wrong there.
Gar Saxon. I think he has potential. I just don't think he's done a whole lot. He's more best known for the Darth Maul comic when he freed him from Palpatine.
Mhm.
And in the last arc of Clone Wars, really, Death Watch.
Yeah.
I think
He was
he's
a
more
leader of
important.
Mandalore for a while.
I put him above Fox. I don't know if I put him above Chopper though.
Heidi's good to me.
Okay with him there.
Yeah.
You're looking like you're not quite okay with that.
I'm torn between those two. Like, I don't know if I'd put him C or D, but I accept D for now.
Okay. I'm good with that. Could be higher. Yeah, he's one of the ones that could be higher if they do more with him. We'll have to say. All right. Tarkin.
A.
Yeah, I agree. High A, but A.
I'd say A, but I would not put him above Ezra.
I gotta be honest here. My initial instinct was B, and the reason why he was important in episode 4, and it made him important later on more than he was. It took a long time. Disney has definitely brought up his stature. His appearances in Rogue One, appearances in Rebels, and in Clone Wars. Definitely higher than Bail. The question is what Jerry just said: is he over Ezra or Rex or 3PO? Yes, he killed all already.
He's got a great book, and he does a lot with Vader in the comics and books. He's an amazing character.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I'm not the guy that likes the bad guys as much that I don't have as high.
Yeah, you're alone on
To
this
me,
one.
he's highest of A on this one. To me, but
You think he's over 3PO?
mhm.
Wow. I can't see him being over 3PO. I don't
No,
think.
I don't see him there.
I could see him being over Ezra so far, with the potential of Ezra making more.
You just
Ezra-
broke his heart.
Was that?
You just broke his heart.
Yeah, I'm
You just
sorry.
saw him look away. It's like, and I loved your sweater. I just saw that.
Thank you.
I
You want to know what really broke my heart? Is that I kind of agree with you. I do. I hate that so much. But he's such a good character, and his books bring out even more in him.
Mhm.
I think this will help salve the wound. I think Ezra has the potential to get higher with more that we discover about him. But my hot thing about Ezra is that he is a little bit of a blank slate character. Everything happens like, even though he's like the leading character of Rebels, kind of, it almost seems like everything happened around him, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, and that makes sense because he is a kid. He's growing
Right.
as the show goes on. So he's supposed to be a blank split.
Right.
He's supposed to be that, and he grows up to be what everybody forms
Right.
by what they put into him.
Right.
I mean, yeah, the ending of Ezra is pretty great. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Made you want more.
It made me cry.
Absolutely.
That's just me.
That's true. That's so true. He basically is that blank slate video game avatar. Is the you picked male, so this is what you get kind of thing. All right. General Grievous.
This one's hard for me.
Yeah.
My initial instinct is B, but I'm not sure where on B.
I would put him. I would put him above. What's his name?
Bale.
Bale. Yeah. Why am I blanking on his name?
I think that's
Just
a good.
because we see more of him.
Yeah,
All around.
He's so cool looking. Like the fact that we didn't get more of him is very disappointing because he is visually an awesome character. Oh my gosh.
that's true. That's a good point. Hello there, General Kenobi. I'm okay with him being in B tier. I like that where he is. I think he's definitely at the Clone Wars. He definitely gets boosted up. He got many more appearances than Bale does at that point.
Yeah.
Are you including the memes?
Exactly. That's why he's up there. That's why I got to keep him in B. The memes almost pushed him to A for me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go with B. He's the asthmatic robot. He's good for us asthmatics everywhere.
If it was just episode 3, he'd be like lower D for me.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't
Yeah.
like him in episode 3 that much.
I
But
put him higher than that,
every-
but I do agree.
I get that. I get
So
that.
much.
So, better late than ever, Mike. Better late than ever. All
Hi,
right,
Mike.
Let's see what we got going on here. Next. Oh, okay. I'm going to fight anybody on this, and I don't think I have to, but he's definitively A tier. Han Solo is.
Yep.
I'm going to put him above Chewie.
Yep.
I actually want to put him above
No.
Maul.
No.
Mm-mm. Right
No.
behind Maul. Right behind him.
He is one of the big 3, and he's more important than Maul was.
Just wait to hear my other opinions on the
How
big three.
how is he more important?
Han
How?
Solo is the
He has no character
Jedi.
almost at all
He is
in
the
Empire Strikes Back.
he is the non-Jedi. He is the main non-Jedi person in Star Wars. Harrison Ford coming back to Star Wars: The Force Awakens was the biggest news story of that. Everyone knew Mark Hamill was going to come back. Carrie Fisher was going to come back. When Harrison Ford came out, what did they use in the trailer? Chewie, we're home.
Which is why he should be right beside Chewie because they're always together. So
And Han is more important than Maul is. I'm sorry. Sorry.
As much
and,
as I love Maul, I kind of agree with BLD.
and I disagree because
I
I'm not a
disagree.
big Han fan, and
I-
this is my hot take. I'm
Hey,
not-
I'd much rather hang out with Maul than Han, but
Not even that. To me, it's the one reason I don't like Empire Strikes Back as much. It's to me exactly what most people complain about with The Last Jedi. It's a side story that eventually just delves into the main story again.
Me too.
And Han had a great character in the first episode, in episode 4, and he was just almost there, with the exception of his story with Leia the rest of the time. And I know that I am the only person in the whole world that believes this.
yeah,
But
you
that
are.
is-
Then.
yeah. I know.
Honestly, Han Solo was my favorite. At one point, if it wasn't for Vader, Han Solo was my favorite character in Star Wars. Easily. Growing up. Like, that was the guy I wanted to be. I wanted to be Han Solo. Because he is the fucking coolest
I
character.
know Dean is saying that red shirt shows how much you love Maul, but my red shirt is actually not Star Wars. It is Smash Cancer.
There you go. Smash Cancer.
But what emotional moments have we seen from Han that we have not seen from Maul? I mean, you have way more emotion from Maul than you ever get from Han.
I Love You, I Know was probably my most emotional moment of the year.
You mean the moment where there's literally like no emotion in almost Han's face at all?
Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me right now? That was like, I cry every time at that. Like a little baby every single time.
Like, if I ever get married, I want my rings to be engraved with "I love you, I know."
So
Thank you.
great. His moments with Kylo in The Force Awakens, his moment in Kylo, actually, even in Rise of Skywalker, whether you liked the film or not. Just some of the best moments that came about it. And you got to talk about his comic book, his books, characters, everything else, his Legends work. Also, his Legends. There is no more, like, there is a very few characters you could put above Han Solo as far as how important he is.
And this may be because I'm not, again, this is me not being a fan of Han. And I know that's why it is. It's just I don't connect with the character at all after episode 4. At all.
Let me tell you something right now. The fact that I'm not putting him above Ahsoka is me making a very big secession to you guys. Like, if it was me, he's far more important than Ahsoka is. I will secede that to you guys. I will not fight that, but I will not.
Yeah, I would have fought you on that one.
I know you would have, and I know all of you would have. And this is why I'm not completely being a PLD-docracy. I'm giving you a little bit of credit here. But I will not. I will do that, but I will not put him under Maul at that point.
Okay, I'll take it. but I'm not happy with it.
Okay, fair enough. I'm not happy that he's under Ahsoka, but I'm letting it go. So that's true. Let's see.
This is where it gets good.
Hera.
Hera.
I got a hot take. I think Hera's overrated.
You're nuts.
Yeah,
She's definitely not S to me.
How is she not S? She's literally through every part of the rebellion. She's there. She's, I would argue, a better pilot than Han Solo because we see her do more in ships than Han Solo. Okay. I would argue she has a better relationship than Han Solo does. Her and Kanan are the best relationship in Star Wars. Okay, they show how people should be, with one taking the reins of the leadership and both of them letting each other go and do what they need to do. And she's the baddest person in Rebels.
I would put. I'm going to say I would put Hera above Ezra. I could see putting Ezra above Tarkin rather.
That's about where I'd put her too. I do agree. I think she is slightly overrated, but also I'd probably have Han. Like I said, I'd have Han lower too. So I do agree. I think she's a better pilot than Han. So with the list that we have developed, I think right where she's at right now is where I'd probably put her.
I like Rex so much better than Hera. I like Rex. I like 3PO better than her. I mean, I think like Hera is kind of like a. To me, Hera is a very much like a. We were told she's great more than we're shown she's great. To be honest,
she flew the prototype B-wing.
So what? Anybody could have done that.
She flew a B-wing, an X-wing, an A-wing. She flew the Ghost. She's flown more ships than you've seen Han fly. Han only flies 2
because he doesn't need to fly.
She literally helped build the rebellion.
Yeah, when you fly the fucking Millennium Falcon, you don't go for second best.
That piece of junk.
Fair point.
She literally helped build the rebellion. Like without her, I have no doubt that the rebellion falls.
Same with Bail Organa. You're not arguing Bail Organa's up there. I actually put her in the same type of category. I think she's important to the rebellion, yeah, but overall, there's more important characters to the Star Wars story. Importance to the rebellion, yes. Importance to the Star Wars story.
And for all we know, she lives all the way to Rise of Skywalker because the Ghost is still in Rise of Skywalker.
That's true. What is her Kessel runtime? It's not better than Han Solo, I can tell you that.
She's not stupid enough to go to the Kessel.
But here's the thing: we don't know the real time for the Kessel run because even in Solo, he says not if you round down.
That's fun. I think that I don't know. I cannot in good conscience put her in S tier.
Plus her book with Kanan is amazing.
You're done?
Yeah.
I was kind of bored.
I read that and it shows a lady who is I'm not gonna prove any point here any more than I have.
I like her, but I don't there's just more that's hot. There's just more that are more important to me. By far.
Like, what did she not do that 3PO did?
Guys, 3PO
has legacy points. 3PO's been there since 1977.
And he did almost.
And he was involved. The whole story, from George Lucas said, the whole story is supposed to be told through the eyes of the droids. 3PO and R2 would be basically the storytellers of the story. Hera is a good side piece. No offense, Kelsey, not what I meant at that.
I'm still the best side piece.
You're still my best side. So, I don't know. We know Jerry's side. Kelsey, I'm just kind of curious you and Medora to say about her at this point, where she is now.
I can accept this. Yes,
that's where I'm at too. I like personally would have had her lower too, maybe like the bottom of A, but I'm fine with her there. I'm not gonna.
I wouldn't. Yeah, if people argued that she'd be lower, I would actually listen. But I'm okay for now putting her up there.
As long as we all agree that Kanan is higher.
I wouldn't agree with that either.
Technically, I guess you're right, Wes. I'll give you that little side. That's a little. I mean, you can say it about a lot of characters if they were technically there, but okay. And Hux, General Hux.
He's a very good little bitch for Kylo to play with. That's his purpose.
It's so disappointing because he's a great actor, and I wanted so much more.
I love him, but
yeah, he's a D.
He's a plaything.
Yeah.
I like him better than Chopper, to be honest with you, but I'm not going to argue that. That's fine. I'll keep him in D.
I'm perfectly good with him there.
And because Zach Tarkin is a very big villain, he's a powerful villain. He's everything that Hux isn't.
He
That's-
blew up Alderaan. He was the one that gave you like that's a big deal.
Star Wars: New Hope.
Tarkin doctrine.
He made Leia talk more than Vader.
I agree with that. All right. Okay, who got next? Jango Fett.
This one's tough.
I wouldn't put him above Boba.
I wouldn't
I
either.
w-
I don't think I would either.
I wouldn't put him above Bo-Katan.
I wouldn't
I-
either. I wouldn't put him above Rex either.
Yep.
Probably above Cassian. That's the most I would go, like as high as I would go.
That's
I would put him over Cody. I would put Jango over Cody. He's more important. He's the whole clone trooper template. There's no Cody without Jango.
I mean, Rex is higher though, so your
yeah,
argument.
your argument's a little flawed there.
Well, Rex is the exception of the clones at this point. I mean, just in terms of what they did, and Cody shot at Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's his main claim to fame. Jango, at least,
Shot at Mace Windu, so.
he did shoot at Mace Windu. He also,
And then he got his head cut off.
is anyone going to really be mad if I put him over Cody?
I mean,
I'm not
Cody's the only one that's broken my heart so far. So
I've already broken your heart with this one, so I might as well just keep stopping on a little bit for this one.
just do the tango on it.
All right. That's the question. We don't have him on there, Mike. I wish Will Rowe was on there. That'd be great to have him on there.
Funny that you mentioned that. I'm gonna plug it later.
I wouldn't either, Thrawn, but that's just me.
He couldn't jetpack away because his suit was damaged. His jetpack was damaged. If you see, like sparks were coming out of it when Mace came after him.
Yeah, because it got hurt by the
Rolling on the ground. When,
horn beat.
yeah. All right. Here's a good question now. Jar Jar Binks.
I think we all agree where.
I think we don't. Jar Jar was my favorite character for about 4 or 5 years.
Jerry's right. He said that to me before. That's funny. It's very funny. I love you for that, Jerry. I do.
Yeah.
Overall story,
I don't think he goes F. Okay, if you want to talk about story, he literally starts the Empire. Okay, he is known as being the guy that gave the power to Palpatine to do what he did.
Yeah.
because he's Darth
He's in-
Jar Jar.
Yeah, and honestly,
Zach, go ahead and tell us why you disagree, because I don't know where you think they should be higher or lower. I don't even know. Oh, go ahead.
but let me get back to Jar Jar real quick.
Go ahead.
And
That's
he literally was made for people my age seeing it at that time. I am fine with him in D because I know who cares, Zach. I don't care about you.
Jar Jar above Hux. I could agree with that.
I can actually agree with that.
Not
Yeah.
that one.
But he was
I
literally
could-
made, and I get that people don't love him. I get it. But
All right.
he is my character, and that's all I care about.
Are you okay with him over Hux? Are you good with that?
I'm
there?
okay with him over Hux because I know how much people hate him.
I could do
But
that.
I
could
hate
do
it.
that. I could do that. And Zach, you had the choice to be on the show, but you said you couldn't. You said it was too late for you. So that's why it's too bad for you. But I will say real quick, the reason why we don't want to switch is because Bail meant more to the rebellion. Bo-Katan's potential. She could be switched eventually, but she hasn't quite gotten there yet. That's what.
Yeah, we're just talking about like story, not our love for it. If we're gonna talk about our love for the characters, then this list would be completely different. No one's gonna know.
All right, Jyn Erso. Definitely
C
above
above
Cassian.
Cassian.
Yeah.
I feel like they're very hand in hand. So
Yeah, I agree with that. They're one movie wonders. With a pre-book, they had a book. She had a book, obviously, before that, but she wasn't really as much involved as more her father.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm okay with her being right there. I kind of think she's a little more important than Cody. Again, I guess I just don't like Cody as much as Fedora does. But I won't trample on her heart a third time.
have some mercy, Paul.
Hand in hand with Cassian, like we said.
I mean, if I
Mercy.
showed you Cody's face right now, oh, he's right there. Okay.
I think we have 9 now. Maybe we should move Chopper down at this
Well,
point. You think?
we're gonna have 74 and only have 6 tiers, so there's gonna be more than 10
Yeah.
in each
Okay.
tier.
That's true. I'm not doing math. I'm not told there'd be math.
You've been doing tier lists for how long?
Well, we do definitely different lists that we've had as far as like A through C, A through F, A through But
You know what? I'm gonna give you this idea. Maybe you should have like a save card, for one character you could overrule. And put him wherever.
I'm not going to say we can do that. We'll introduce that as a potential possibility. How about that? And we'll talk about it there. We'll maybe use that as your argument because we got to. Okay. All right. K2SO.
He's funny. I like him, but yeah.
I put him above him because he's more memorable of a character.
I agree.
Yeah.
I put him above Jin because again, he's more memorable of a character than.
I'm okay with that. He's my favorite character of Rogue One. So
Yeah.
Same.
Yes, mine too.
By far.
Alan Tudyk is phenomenal. So
He's so good.
all right, I'll go with that.
One of my favorite Jokers too.
Callus.
I love his character arc. Like his story. I love it. When he turned, I love it. He's a better version of Hux.
Yeah.
I would put him above Django.
Wow, that high.
He's amazing in the Rebels.
He is. He is. I'm trying to think if I could argue against it.
Honestly, if I'm going like personal feelings, I'd put him above Finn, honestly.
Yeah. I get that too.
Even more, maybe above Bale. Let's be real.
I love you, Thrawn, so much. I love
Honestly,
you.
I'd probably put him in B. Never mind.
I'm okay. I think we'll stay here for now. Anybody else? Kelsey?
I don't have strong feelings either way, so
Jerry?
that's good.
I love him, but I've been talking too much this episode anyway, so I'm good.
All right, we'll keep him there for now. Maybe we'll go. And let me see. All right. Kanan. Oh boy. Kanan.
Go higher. Go higher.
I have a hard time putting him straight in S tier, but I would definitely put him in the highest area of A tier.
That's exactly where I feel too. I think right there is perfect.
Personally, I would put him on S tier, but I can accept A tier.
Like, I feel like if he wasn't S tier, he would be the lowest of this S tier.
I would put him in S tier myself too.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the Jedi during Rebels at that point. He was very important.
Yeah.
And his character is, oof.
His character is a mix of Han and Luke, and he does it beautifully.
Honestly, I would put him in S tier.
Okay.
And he has one of my most tearful moments in Rebels.
No,
when
I agree.
He died.
All right.
And then when Ezra had to go back and make the decision not to save him because what he did was so important.
That was the moment I realized I cared about Rebels.
Yeah, that was it too for me. And he actually in the first episode of Rebels, the big first movie thing they did kind of thing, I will say that his moment won me over the series. I when I first saw the series, kind of like, okay, it's good, it's a little kiddish. I'm like, it's okay. I don't know if I'm into it. We had the one line. He said something like, I read the exact line, but Ezra says something like, "Well, you gonna show us? You gonna show everything?" And also, he kind of stands down and goes, "I'm about to show them all, kid." And it lights the lightsaber, and I was like,
he grabs it with the Wookiees behind him.
And started up, and you're like, everybody's like, all of a sudden, like you see like Callus stop at that point and go, "Oh, shit! Wait, Jedi or something like that." That was a fucking cool moment. So I just got chills talking about that. Yes, Teddy did do that, and I was right there with her. Yeah, so I'm convinced to keep him at low S tier for now. I'm okay with that. If he could get bumped down to A. I could see that happening, but I'm okay with him at S tier at this point. It's a very gracious S tier. Let's put it that way. It's generous S tier, I'll say. But
You're so generous, Paul. We love you.
I know you do. That's why I have you on here. That's why. Kia D Monday. Ooh. I gotta admit, I love Kia D Monday. I do love him. He's probably my favorite Jedi Councilman.
I think it's more a meme now for Schmodown community than it is actually.
Very fair.
Kia Monday.
Isn't he the first Jedi to die in Order 66? That first scene, and they open up, and he's the one that gets mowed down.
I think about it. I think you're right. I think he is. Yeah, because he's the first. He's the first big one anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is. I mean, he's not very important, honestly. Besides
No.
that, yeah, he's best known for his. What about the droid attack on the Wookiee? That's just like lie that everybody mentions all the time, and it's silly.
Another meme.
Yeah, he has some cool moments in the comics occasionally, and so he has some kind of cool Clone Wars moments.
You want to
him
know
and
what he did best? What his
Yeah,
biggest
but
moment is?
If you're gonna keep him at B, I'm probably gonna fight you on this one, but he is no higher than low C.
I was just I just put him there. I actually wasn't putting him there. Sorry, I was just kind of letting go of the mouse.
I would probably put him above Fox. That's highest I would go.
Wow.
There's not much to him.
Yeah.
I agree.
I was
Unfortunately,
actually
she's
going to
right.
put him in C, but I guess I could agree with that. I might put him above Gar.
I mean, Gar had a story at least.
Well, Kitty has some. Well, there's also some legend stuff that he's had some stories. He had some kind of cool backstory and legends that I liked.
But if you're not including legends, there's not much to him.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with that.
Basically, the only thing in canon he's known for is bringing Ahsoka into the temple.
Yeah. All right.
That was Plo Koon,
That's
right?
Plo Koon. That was Plo Koon who brought Ahsoka to the
Oh, that was
temple.
Plo
Yeah.
Koon. You're right.
That was
He's
he
not even
wasn't
on the
even that.
list.
We have
So
a
he's
win
not on
less
this list.
thing.
All right, I'm convinced enough to have him there. That's fine. That's fine. That I keep hearing this a lot. Chopper being more important than K2. Do we think we should move him up? I don't know.
I love Chopper. I was saying he was up higher before.
I love Chopper, so I don't mind.
I mean, I get the argument for it.
K2 though, oh yeah, I do. I do love Chopper more than K2.
All right, I'm convinced.
And here's another scene for Chopper's thing. After Kanan dies, okay, they all come back, and Zeb asks what happened, and it's just a dead quiet. And Chopper goes up to Hera and puts his arm up, and you could just tell he's there to comfort her, even though he never does. It's a beautiful scene. It's one of the things I remember most about Chopper. So I just want to put that out there.
Don't
Why'd
say I
you
never
have to
did.
mention that, man? Why'd
I'm
you have
sorry.
to bring those emotions back, man?
Such a good scene. They've been together forever, and he's just there to help her out, to hold her.
Okay. All right, that's fine. I don't say I never did anything for you guys. Okay, don't say I never did anything for you. All right. Let's see what else we got next. All right, Kit Fisto. Basically
Jedi
known
Council
for
member that got taken down by Palpatine in 2 hits.
just known for his smile, basically. Force push,
Yeah,
smile.
Yeah.
that is true. I'd put him above Ki-Adi-Mundi, honestly.
He did have an arc too
Yeah.
in the Clone Wars.
The Clone Wars, yeah. He freed what was it?
He was in the Mon Calamari,
Yeah,
Arc.
Moncal.
Ankala angle, and he also had that angle with his apprentice who was killed by Grievous, which was cool. So I like that. I'm okay with that. Actually, I'd actually maybe do that. Maybe even he had movie presence.
I
Maybe he
can
was
accept
killed.
it.
All right. Orson Krennic.
Are you kidding me? Sorry.
He's not Esther, Zach. I'm sorry, he's not Celadus.
No.
Although I gotta say that what's the actor's name again? I'm blanking on his name. Ben Mendelsohn. Ben Mendelsohn is a phenomenal actor, and he definitely elevates the character higher than he would be.
Mm-hmm.
If any other actor is playing it, I don't think, unless it was Ed Harris, it would be lower. But he did have to do with the Death Star at this point. He was a
I'd
good
put
foil
him
for
above
Thrawn.
Grievous.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
I
Again,
wouldn't. And the
I
only
put him
reason I'd
above
be
Grievous. And my reasoning being, like, sure, he helped create, like, the Death Star and all of that, but he also left a hole for the rebellion to actually destroy it.
the reason I would not put him above Grievous is because Grievous has more story to him overall in the Clone Wars. I mean, they both had pretty much the same amount of movie time. And Grievous
Krennic
has more
had-
story in the Clone Wars.
Krennic had a great book in Catalyst before Rogue One.
Yeah.
Also, I think that he's got more potential storylines with him.
I mean, you do get him in the Thrawn novel.
Oh,
too.
right. I'm sorry. I messed up. Galen Erso left it, not Krennic.
Yeah,
Never
well,
mind.
Yeah.
I thought Krennic left it. It was
Yeah,
under his
Krennic
watch.
didn't catch it, so
Krennic didn't catch
Yeah.
it. No. I'm okay with him there. I could see your argument about Grievous being higher, but
either way, I'm good.
I'm okay with him being a B for right now.
I've gotten some of the stuff my way. We can do that.
I'd still keep him in B. I just
Yeah.
messed up the characters.
Kylo Ren, and this is where Kelsey
My boy,
Chelsea, take it over.
the love of my life. I feel like my bias is going to affect by saying on this.
I feel that way too, but go ahead.
To me, he's S tier. I love Kylo. I love his arc. Even in Rise of Skywalker, which I don't like that movie very much. And I feel like he was done dirty a little bit at the end of that movie. But one of my favorite scenes in that movie is him as Ben when he comes back and he's just, I can't even put into words. He's S tier. That, like, I don't know. I can't even put into words why, but he's S tier.
Jerry, what's your thoughts?
I love him in The Last Jedi. I love him in the scene of Rise of Skywalker when he turns into Ben. I don't really care, honestly.
I love Kylo.
I feel less because of Rise of Skywalker about him. He's A for me. I'm not gonna fight, but I don't think he's S.
I'd put him B.
Wow! Oh, you just put a
I
dagger
mean-
in Chelsea's heart.
My heart.
Hey, you put my boy in C, so
It's true. I know, I got it.
I would put him B just because I think Adam Driver elevates Kylo Ren more than Kylo Ren's story needs to be. Like, his acting is way better. Like, you can't deny that he was a great actor. He had cool moments, but overall, and I hate to make this comparison, but he was angry little Luke Skywalker.
I feel like
Angry-
he's a better version of angry little Luke Skywalker, though. 'Cause
Oh no, he is not.
that's where we're gonna have fun talking about when Luke comes back.
Okay. And I'm not a sequel hater. I'm definitely not a sequel hater. I do think Kylo is the best part of the sequels. I do like that. I don't put him in B. I definitely don't put him in B.
I mean,
think
I
that's
can
a little too low.
accept low A's.
I would put him in A myself. I think that it's hard for me to say. I understand the argument to put him in S tier. God, this is a tough one for me. Man, the chat
He
really gets
wasn't
me.
like he
There's a lot
wasn't
of S
he
tiers in
wasn't
the
like
chat.
he wasn't like a complete villain to the point where, oh yeah, he's the villain. He's scary. He kept going back and forth, which is why he goes lower on my list because he didn't know who he was.
See, and that's
If-
why he's
if-
an interesting character to me, is because
Oh,
like
I'm not saying he's not interesting. I'm just saying he's not S tier because he doesn't know who he is.
Luke didn't know who he was through several parts. You're gonna put him in S tier, I already know, even though I don't agree.
I don't know if I'm going to put him in S tier.
Oh, that makes me. Okay.
I will
Can't wait for this
rage quit.
I know.
Rage quit.
I mean, I don't know.
We'll
I
get
just-
there when we get there.
We will. I think
He's
for
high
now,
here.
I think for now, Bedora, I do want to put him up in the higher echelon of A tier, and we could revisit that at this point. But I think
Not above Rex. Not above Rex.
Absolutely above Rex.
Absolutely not.
And
above Rex.
C3PO, honestly.
Yeah, but you want him to move up, not just.
All right. I'm going to put him in there for now, and we'll revisit. We'll revisit. Okay. Okay.
I tried Boo.
Okay. We'll get back there. We'll come back. Oh, we do have a Streamlabs. Haskell 420. Thank you, buddy. Hey, gang. While I disagree with some slotting, having Chopper in C below Wicket and not way above BB-8 is nuts, lol. Chopper was huge in Rebels, had many important roles and scenes every season. BB-8 was mostly comedic. Wicket had a few scenes. Chopper mid B.
Thank you, Haskell. Thank you.
I don't think
I mean,
he would.
Chopper, honestly, C is the lowest I would go for him. I wouldn't mind.
The
We're
chat
not
is
done.
upset, Paul. The chat
I'm
is
not
upset.
done. We're not done. I'm
the representation of the chat here, like it was with Scream. This is Scream all over again, Paul. Where the chat
let me
agrees
say-
with me and you just ignore us.
I am a big sequel lover, with the exception of the last movie. What kills me with Kylo, just to go back to that, is he does basically go through the same thing again in episode 9. I don't like it. So that's why he's not S tier, because I think he had the potential to be the S tier.
Okay.
Yeah, I think once he figures out like if he wants to stay good or go back to being bad, if he stayed bad the entire time, I'd probably have him in S tier.
Yeah,
honestly,
me too.
him turning good did not do him favors.
Everybody yelling at me. I'm not done with it yet. I'm leaving him here for now. I want to finish the list and go back. I just don't know where to put him yet. I really don't. We'll go back. There's still hope for him in S tier.
Peer pressure.
There's still hope. Well, I'm not one for too much peer pressure. As you know, you've seen me on these lists before. They'll know that I stand firm on some things, but we'll see. All right. Let's see. Lando Calrissian.
I don't know what to do with him.
I think he's solid A tier material myself.
Agree.
OG trilogy hero. He's with Solo. He owned the Millennium fucking Falcon. In Rebels a little bit. I think his potential for even more later on. Came back in Rise of Skywalker. Everybody was so happy to have him back in Rise of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
Could anybody argue lower than A tier?
No.
Kelsey, you're looking a little.
He's one I'm fine with him at lower A. That's where I'd put him.
Jerry.
I don't want him above Ezra. I'm fine if he's an A. It's just he is amazing. They play him amazing. It's just there's not a whole lot to him. There really isn't.
I think Donald Glover did amazing with it.
I think he
in
did,
Solo.
but even then, I wasn't a big fan of his performance, honestly.
That's an interesting point. According to Rise of Skywalker, really, they didn't answer Leia, but they answered Lando, and he went around to get everybody. That's true. I'm okay.
I'm fine with him right there.
I think he's A tier, and I'm okay with that at this point. And I don't like him enough to push him higher at this point than Ezra or anybody else. Although I'm not certain I agree, but I'll leave that one for now as well. All right, Leia, Princess Leia,
Number one.
number one.
I would put her number 1. I do agree she's S tier, but not number 1.
Yeah, I don't think she's number one. I do think she's S tier definitively.
And let me tell you why. Okay. For one, she's integral in 2 trilogies where she is literally the catalyst for the Resistance and Rebels. Okay. She is literally in the original trilogy, she's one of the most memorable parts of it next to Vader. Okay. And Vader is out after that. In Rebels, she's in. And honestly, she was the only lady in the galaxy for such a long time that I think she's number 1. Even though she wasn't my personal favorite, she's what my sisters latched onto. She's the reason they love Star Wars. So to me, that means something to me.
Okay.
That's what I want to say.
I'll put her above Palpatine. I don't put her above Vader.
I agree. I think it's perfect right there.
I can't put her above Vader. But Dora, what do you think?
I agree with this.
All right. I'm okay with that. I appreciate your argument, though, Jerry. I do appreciate your arguments. I do love Leia. I mean, we're talking like
Yo,
numbers
yeah, I
of
get
points, though.
we're splitting hairs.
Right.
Like, here's the thing. Like, I love Ahsoka, and I think she's number one, but I'm gonna agree with her.
Okay. Here's the other tough one now. And Kelsey, I think we have to say that he's important to the Star Wars universe,
He's
and
important.
we have to stop. We have to put our question marks about him behind us. He's definitely an S tier Star Wars character. There's no doubt in my mind that he's an S tier Star Wars character. I would probably put him personally in A or B, not A, but this is exactly, I get the point that as far as characters go.
That's my opinion on Kylo. S tier I walk, and here we are with him in the middle of A. So
We're not done there yet. There's a chance.
like, okay, I don't feel like because we're supposed to is a good reason to put a character higher up than where they deserve to be. Like, I know they're A or B, but because I have to, I'm gonna put them in S. I don't feel like that's a valid argument.
Is the strongest character in the original trilogy. What he does literally
He's a whiny bitch. He's a whiny bitch.
care.
Whiny
No,
bitch.
In the first episode, he is okay. In the third, in episode 6, he literally showed. And this is my personal view of Star Wars. He shows Vader that he can turn from the dark side to the light when he reaches and touches the dark, and then turns back. He goes into the dark and then turns back, and to me, that causes a turn for Vader. And not only that, he restarts the Jedi Order. He gives hope to the galaxy in episode 7 and episode 8. He is the strongest Jedi in my opinion, because you see him do something that no other Jedi does, and there is no way he is that low on S tier.
I'm
Not
putting him there.
Yeah,
I'm just putting him in a tier. I'm not placing him there. I'm just saying.
Okay, I was gonna be pissed, and he is my favorite character of all time.
Yeah, I have like an hour before I have to leave, but if you put him that low in S tier, I'm just leaving right now.
No, let me tell you, when I was really young, when I was a kid, he was my favorite character. When I was young, I grew up, I kind of more mature, and he slipped down the list to me. I will agree that he is a legendary character. Everybody loves him for a reason. I get it. He's not my favorite character. He's not my favorite part of Star Wars by far. A lot of people, I watch Star Wars for a lot more than Luke, to be honest with you. But
I mean, same, but I know he's.
I mean, people
right
are saying
there.
number one. I will not put him above Vader.
No,
I would accept number 2.
I would accept number 3 because I think Leia is more important.
I think Leia is more important. Absolutely.
I think Leia is more important. He's mine.
I love Leia more than Luke, but I'm going with the majority. I'm being a diplomat over here. But yeah, if you put him at 3, that's fine with me.
He's my favorite character of all time. I'm not saying he's the most important, but I think Leia is more important. So I would say Leia is number 2.
Leia is more important because of what she did for women and young girls everywhere. I agree with that.
Not even just that.
Yeah, but if we're going to be talking about story, Luke is most important, like the most important, because he literally saved the galaxy. He turned Vader back into a good person.
But the original saga, you go through episodes 1 through 6. The story of Star Wars is the rise, the fall, and redemption of Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader.
Yeah, I get it.
So that's why he's number 1.
I get why Vader is number 1. That's why I say 2 is probably. I accept 3, but 2 is probably where I'd place him, even though I love Leia more.
Not at all. I'm sorry, I can't.
I agree with that. I
can't agree with that.
But we know my thoughts.
Vader let Luke win in Return of the Jedi in order to get him angry, and it's not a retcon. That's a bunch of bullshit. It's not a retcon at all. George Lucas has said that was the fall and redemption of Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader. But no. Au contraire, mon frère. He did not kick Vader's ass. Vader wanted to make him angry. Vader wanted to make him angry. If Luke wasn't strong enough in the Force to be able to take on Darth Vader, truly, he whooped his ass in Empire, and he would have whooped his ass again in Jedi. But he wanted him to get angry. He wanted him to turn to the dark side.
I agree.
That's what happened.
And then he couldn't control him when he got angry. When Luke got angry, he beat Vader. Maybe during the half the fight, maybe Vader's fighting him and he's letting back. But when Luke got angry, Vader couldn't stop him.
Vader was holding back the whole time.
Not at
There's
the
holding
end.
back. Disagree.
I agree with you, PLD.
Thank you. But all right. I guess Luke versus Leia is the thing for me. That's an interesting hot take, actually. That's a hot take.
I
No.
agree with you there too, because like I said, Luke would be probably low A tier for me, tops if I have any control. So
I might put Palpatine over there as well, but I'm good with putting him under Leia, I think, at this point.
And here's another reason to not put Luke above Palpatine. When we put Palpatine there, no one disagreed. When we put Luke, everyone was saying 1. Gives you what most people think.
not everyone was saying one.
It's 2, yeah. It's like 2-2 at this point, but
I'm talking about even the chat.
100% not that, because George Lucas had wrote. You know that George Lucas has already written not written the whole story, but he had it started with 4, 5, and 6, and he started at part 4. He started in the middle of the series for a reason. If you start in the middle of the series for a reason, obviously he had 1 through 3 at least somewhat in mind. Therefore, the stories in mind were the rise of Anakin Skywalker, the becoming of Darth Vader, and the redemption.
Yep.
So I 100% disagree with you now. But sorry. All right. Anyway, we'll talk more later. Let's go back and we can tweak a little bit. So, Mace Windu.
He's A, in my opinion, because he's integral to Anakin's fall. He's literally the guy.
That I agree with.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Bador.
No, I'm just saying I agree with you.
All right.
Sorry, I'm over talking. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. He's a punk. He's the reason why Anakin fell, definitively.
I mean, he's one of them.
But well, his stubbornness more than anybody else. Mace Windu is the representation of everything that was wrong with the Jedi Council and why they fell.
Completely agree.
So I will say he is important for that reason. Sorry, Monty. I'm sorry. I do feel bad.
I know the feeling. I feel like everyone stole my lunch money a few rounds ago. But it's fine.
But
It's fine, Kelsey. I know the feeling as well.
Yeah.
It's fine.
No one's gonna leave this quest happy.
Okay. So where would I put him on A tier? If we keep on an A tier, where would we put him then?
I'd put him right where he was. I'd put
Right
him
below Lando?
personally, yeah.
Okay. Justin, feel free to make your own list, and I'll come yell at you too. It's fine. It's all good. I love you guys all. This is what I love about Star Wars. We can all yell at each other and still have a good time. That's the important thing. So, all right, Din.
It's probably recency bias, but I put him in A.
Oof.
High A, man.
I can't do it yet. I can't do it yet.
I can't either.
I know, and that's why I'm saying recency bias. If not, I'll put him high B because he's so good.
I
What's
like
his-
high B.
I mean,
He's high B.
Here's the
number
thing.
one B.
here's my rant in a way. Not rant, but the Mandalorian show itself is a high B. It's like a B at this point because it's done a lot being the first live action series and it's been very successful and everything else. The character of Din, though, himself is not that to me yet. He's good, but we're still discovering a lot about him. Right now, he's a lot of potential at this point. That's a good, yeah. He's a lot of side questy things. I mean, he's got some good stuff going on, but I think that Grogu is more important to the story than Din is. Din has been a vehicle for right now, so I would put him in C. At this point, I would put him. Well, I would put BB-8 in C. Also, though, that's the thing. I'd put him maybe above BB-8, but I'd put BB-8 in C if I had.
I feel like BB-8 should be in C too. Honestly, BB-8 seems too high.
There you go. I'm good with that. I'm fine with that. I think we should move Wicket down to D at this point. We're getting too high with too many things to C, I think. All right, so we'll do that. I can't see him any higher than that at this point.
That's fair.
Anybody else? I mean, Bador seems heartbroken again, but change my mind. Bador, change my mind.
And I feel like his story, like, sure, his story is not done. We still have a lot to learn about him, but where his story is going, he's learning more about his people, basically, and versus his cult.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we've seen, like, since season 1, episode 1 to the last episode that we've seen a lot of growth in him.
Money, I love you. I do agree with that, but
Overall, like, movie story, he hasn't been there, so we can't really judge him on that. But in what he's done with his own show, I feel like he deserves to be higher. Above Grievous, honestly. I put him number one at B.
All right, I will put him. I will go above Grievous for now. Yeah, but I do think that's true. He hasn't really accomplished a whole lot yet, except for having Grogu around. That's about the only thing he's really accomplished.
But his story so far has been amazing. You've seen his growth throughout these episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, he has. I think there's a world of potential.
It keeps getting better. That's the thing. Like, the show keeps getting better, and he keeps getting better.
All right.
So.
That's a good call, Justin. That's called Alex and John Milka's spot. All right. I think for now I'll leave him there, and we can go revisit if we need to at this point. Mon Mothma. Obviously, she's the character to me. Is one of the things I said for Hera. Very important to the Rebel Alliance. Probably the most important figure in the Rebel Alliance overall, besides Leia.
Importance, yes. Story, no.
Yeah.
Right.
But
even in the books, she's shown up a few times, but I don't think enough's happened to really round her out as a character.
In Legends, she had a lot of great arcs after in the post Jedi world in Legends. So I would bump her up to. I think she's in a low C at least to be that because of her importance is that high.
Not only does she important to the Rebel Alliance, she's also important to the New Republic. She holds the New Republic together, and it starts falling apart when she's no longer there.
Yeah.
Like that in Bloodline, that's literally what happens. The First Order comes together because she's gone.
Yeah, I forgot about her part of Bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
And I love when she shows up in the books. There's scenes where she's taking care of.
She probably isn't below Jen, yeah.
I don't think I'm trying to talk myself into thinking she's up a little higher than these people. I actually could see her.
Honestly, I think Bo-Katan and Boba Fett should switch. I don't think Mon Mothma is B.
She's a hard one to rank because you don't really ever see her
in
any
you don't
movies.
see her, but you know her importance.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I like her better than BB-8. I still do. I think BB-8 was more. And frankly speaking, if Bail is that high, I think Mon Mothma's got to be at least the same level as Bail. Because we put Bail up there so high because he had importance to the Rebel Alliance, basically.
Yeah. Now it's making me question why we have him at B.
Yeah, I agree in a way.
I mean, this can be. We can put them there and then revisit at the end once we have everyone sorted out.
Newt Gunray.
Even though that's not Newt Gunray.
I know. We're gonna use him as Newt Gunray, even if
it is Newt Gunray.
I think it is.
I don't think it is.
It is.
Either way,
it's hard for me to tell here.
Just search Newt Gunray. It's him.
It's hard to tell with these fucking small ones. It's definitely a Nemoidian represent. Either way, no matter who it is, he's the important. Yeah, it is Newt Gunray. It definitely is. From Wikipedia, it's the Newt Gunray thing. All right, I can never. These fucking Nemoidians are all the same anyway.
Yeah.
I don't want to
get one Nemoidian.
That sounded really racist there for a second, didn't it? I'm sorry. Nemoidian, I'm going to put. I don't care for Newt Gunray at all. Nemoidian.
Why is Jar Jar higher than Hux?
Because he's more important to the story.
Okay.
Honestly, he's more important to the story than Hux is too.
That's true. That's true. He is a little more important, but I wouldn't. I mean, he's definitely more important than these guys, so I'm okay putting him about in Hux range. He's a better clown than Hux is, actually. Honestly, to be honest with you, as far as that goes, he's a better like stupid character that gets like sliced at the end. I'm okay with him there. I don't think I want to argue at that point. Let's keep him there. Oh, this is a big one.
Daddy Wan Kenobi.
S.
Yeah, he's S, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
I don't know where, but
Definitively
he's S.
yes. He's definitively yes.
S. Above.
I put him above Luke and maybe
I
even
put him
Leia.
above everyone, honestly.
Wow.
I put him right behind Vader.
You put him up there. Wow.
I hate it, but I think
This is hard. This is hard. This is very hard.
He's definitely okay. He's definitely above Kanan, definitely above Chewie, definitely above Maul.
Above Han.
he's definitely above Han.
Personally, do not think above Ahsoka, but Ahsoka's my favorite. But I see why here he would be above Ahsoka, above Palpatine. He literally takes care of Luke.
And he's in more than Luke.
But I wouldn't put him above Luke. Sadly.
I would. But
Personally,
I understand.
like personal list, I would. For what we're doing here, I wouldn't.
But I would understand.
I'm trying to separate so I don't get heartbroken.
God, that's tough though.
I-
Palpatine going that low is killing me though too.
Pat is saying he also lies to Luke from a certain point of view.
See, I'm actually agreeing with Justin a little bit on this one. Justin, I'm seceding. I'm listening to my panelists at this point.
At this point, not earlier, but
I've been listening all the time. Kelsey, you're slamming me too much. I've definitely been listening the whole time.
I love you. I'm just
I love you. I know.
Obi-Wan is so hard to place.
He is. He really is.
But you know,
So
also, to
important.
argue for Palpatine, also Palpatine single-handedly took over the galaxy and caused everything to happen.
well, I'd put him above Luke and Leia, but
I actually would put him above Luke and Leia too, to be honest with you. I mean, nothing happens without Palpatine. Palpatine is the impetus about everything.
Yeah, but to argue that if he didn't have the people under him doing his bidding, then he wouldn't be where he is. That's the only way he got around the Jedi.
And you also see less. You see less about him than you do in the other characters too. Like it's always just he's there, somewhere in the background.
yeah, knowing how to delegate tasks doesn't make you not doing all the work. If that makes sense. Like just because you're having people do stuff for you doesn't mean you aren't the force that caused it to happen.
And then
You
people
guys know what
sometimes-
I'm gonna. You guys know what I'm gonna do after this. I'm gonna open up this link and just create my own.
I was thinking about
I
it.
might
too.
as well.
We should all do that, like do our own separate one.
And then just like post it under the main tweet.
I think that's a good idea. Well, we all do it. This will be our group one, and then we'll go back to our original.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of red at the top of mine.
The problem is I'll probably have to go to work before I can even finish my own.
All right. Well, I think we still have an argument to have for Palpatine. I do like the chat's going with me on this one too. But I'll leave it for now. Padme. Oh, by the way, real quick, I'm just gonna do this.
Yeah,
Palpatine and
Yep.
Emperor.
Palpatine and Sheev are the
Same
same thing.
Yeah,
Can we do the easy ones real quick? Like,
sure.
because this one I have to think about. Can
Oh,
we
here.
do like all the troopers?
Okay.
Plo Koon B, honestly.
Let's do Stormtrooper. Where you put the Stormtrooper? What do you think? I put above the
I-
First Order one.
I'd put it above clones.
Yeah, these are the most visible troopers there are, I think. That as far as designation goes, you think of troopers, everything else is a design based off the original Stormtrooper design.
And if you read the books, there's more about the stormtroopers than there are about any of the rest.
Clone troopers are better to a
Clone
degree.
troopers are better.
They are better, but
fighters.
but because of where they came, like they are obviously the knockoff of the Stormtroopers. They were developed and made better, but Stormtroopers are the original. It's like the OG.
And stormtroopers actually have personalities. In at least in like books and other stuff like that, there's stuff
What do you
about
mean? Clone troopers have names, and we know their names. Can you name?
I
one
know, but they're
stormtrooper?
all the ones that have names are already on the list.
I want to do this real quick, and so even though I'm doing that just because I want to keep the troopers. We decided this a little bit in the way. This troop, we're gonna have our own separate troop things because they're much more not individual people. They're just
I'd put Dio over Coleman, please.
yes, sorry,
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, Dio, there it is. This is Coleman's our worst. So just for the people, everybody in chat understands, we're just separating the troops because they're not individuals, and those are those are their own subsection. So okay, move on. Plo Koon, you said B.
I put him B.
Uh,
He brought in Ahsoka.
he did, but that's like all he did.
He did have stories in Clone Wars.
He had a few. He had a few. But is he more
And-
important than any of these people? I don't know.
Yeah,
He didn't have a bigger arc than any of those people.
he's more important. Like if we're gonna use the overall story as like the base of this overall story, he brought in Ahsoka. Ahsoka went to Anakin. Ahsoka leaves Jedi Order, causes Anakin to distrust the Jedi.
All right. I'm willing to put him. Kelsey?
I think that's fine.
Cherry?
I was putting a mid.
I'm not gonna fight on either way with him, honestly.
All right. Keep going. All right. Let's do the easier one here. Sith Troopers.
I like their outfits.
I like the way they look,
Yeah.
but
I
I wouldn't put them below. I put them above the Red Guards.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, we get more story on Lords of the Sith with the Red Guards than we do.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'll go with that. Well, I think at this point we're splitting hairs down there. I'm not too
Yeah.
worried about it. All right.
Yoda is S.
Battle droids. Troops.
Last.
Yeah, Battle Droids, I'm good with last.
Yeah. All right. Wat Tambor. Not much to him, really. He's a little bit Clone
Probably,
Wars. Probably
He's got
above-
one arc.
Probably last in the. No, above Coleman.
above Coleman. Fuck Coleman, Trevor. Fuck Coleman. Trevor.
I'd honestly put him above the droid that I can't even think of the name of. Right now.
Dio.
Yeah,
Because you
I
do
agree.
see.
I can accept that.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping Dio there because he's fucking cute.
I like that. I get that. All right. Who else we got here? It's easy.
R2.
How about
S
Shock?
tier.
Shakti? Get rid of him. Get rid of her. Put her somewhere.
Above.
She could have stopped Order 66
And she failed.
if she'd have just listened.
I think she's a C. I just think there's nothing important, really that important about her.
That's literally the only thing important.
Actually, I'd put her in D because if we're gonna put Kia D Monday and Plo and
Yeah,
put this guy in there.
I'm trying to look at. I think. Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Sure.
Those Jedi, they're getting killed for not having enough story about them.
Pretty much. All right. How about Zeb? Zeb's like a lovable guy, but I think honestly speaking, he's so not important except for being the original Chewbacca design. That's about the only thing that's important about him. He has a couple of good stories in Rebels. He's lovable. He's likable.
I love him so much. He's probably
Yeah.
he's probably my second favorite in Rebels.
I'd put him right there with Chopper.
Yeah. I'd put him like above Chopper. I mean, right about there.
I know this is gonna be a shock. I'd put him above Rex and Django.
You put Zeb above Rex?
I mean, sorry, Cody and Django.
Oh, Cody and Django.
Yeah, no, he's not above Rex by any means.
Okay.
No one's above Rex.
I'm okay with that. That's fine with me.
Fine.
I won't argue that.
Even above Cal, honestly.
Counts. All right.
Yeah,
I
he-
can.
Because Zeb is the reason Cal switched sides.
I'm okay
Yeah.
with that. I'm okay with that. That's okay. Okay. Padme.
She's hard for me. Other canons have definitely helped her character. I did not like her in the original, the prequel trilogy, but I love the book about her. Made me appreciate her more as a character. Of course, Clone Wars makes her way more interesting as a character and gives her something to do. I feel like she has to be an A somewhere.
I agree with that. I think she's an A-list character. She's important to the prequels.
I put her above Mace.
Yeah.
That's where-
I think that's
Yeah.
fine.
She
I
had
put
such
on that.
potential to be so much more.
Yep.
Clone Wars was great, and she has some canon material about her. She's the mother of Luke and Leia, so I think
Yeah.
that's pretty important overall. I'm good with that. She's not that bad, Zach. Zach, come on, you're spitting things now. She gave up on them.
She died.
I think he's making reference to the "she gave up living" or whatever.
I mean,
It's
she
a
didn't
bad
get
story.
force choke while pregnant, like 3 seconds before that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna do a maybe controversial one. I don't know. This has always been a hot topic. Rose Tico.
We don't have
potential.
much of her. I'd put her in D.
I
Yeah.
put her in D also. I mean,
Yeah.
I like the actress, but I feel bad that she got shit upon.
Not her fault.
But
Above
there's
Kit Fisto.
just not much to her.
But I'd put her
Yeah.
above Kit Fisto.
Okay. Yeah.
I
might even
think
put her
it's-
above Hux, maybe.
I don't
But-
think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so
I like
because
that.
actually Hux actually gave plans to them and did something.
All right.
And
Fine
Huck
enough.
had that amazing speech in The Force Awakens.
Good call. Good call. All right. I'm glad that didn't go over as well. I didn't. There's gonna be a backlash on that. Okay.
I think we're all here like we're all on the same wavelength, but maybe our favorites differ. But
Yeah.
we all know what deserves to be where.
Yeah. I think we're all in the same ballpark for a lot of our things. So just
Yeah.
speaking some things. All right. This guy, Typho.
Typho.
No Panaka. No Panaka, but they have Typho.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't have Panaka.
Above Coleman. Everybody's above Coleman.
Coleman.
Yeah.
All of them are. We found the real Jar Jar. You guys. We found him. I'd put him above Kit Fisto as well. Probably above Rose.
What has he really done, though?
He was there in 2
he
episodes. He guarded.
Protected the Queen and then protected Padme. I mean,
Yeah, he did more than Rose did. I think. Well,
I wouldn't agree that he did more than Rose did.
uh,
Rose
he
in
had more
episode
screen
9.
time than her.
I'm
I'm
okay.
not gonna argue, but I would put her. I personally put her
I'm good either or, but they're pretty much equal to each
Yeah.
other.
yeah.
I think we're good there. I think Jerry made a point that Rose did do a little bit more. I'll go with that. I'm good with that. A little more actively. Poe.
My love.
I love him.
He's
To
the
me,
one
he's
I
a better
wanna
version
be.
of
He's
Han Solo.
A. He is A.
I want him to be an A tier guy, but honestly, he didn't
He is.
end up
he is
doing
an
a whole
A.
lot.
Think of
He did a lot in
anyone
Force
in
Awakens.
B. Think of anyone in B. Is he better than anyone in B?
And I
Yes,
say
he's better
yes.
than. He's better than all of them.
I agree.
Think of A. He's better than Mace Windu, and he's better than Padme.
Is he
I
though?
think I do agree.
I would agree too.
Is he?
Yes. You have 3 people saying it.
All right. I will secede and give
It's
you
like
that.
if Han and Lando had a love child.
I want to.
Yes.
I want him to. Be,
I
have,
love that.
I want him to be more. I wanted him to have more. But I just didn't give him-
For me, honestly, he's one of my favorites from. He's my favorite from the sequel trilogy. I would put him higher.
Okay.
To me, honestly, this is a personal thing, which no one will agree with me. I like him better than Han. And I heard that
you.
joke. I do.
You just heard
I
my heart fall out of my chest on
I
that. one.
might agree as well. I'm
Me
not
too.
entirely sure. I think I might.
I'm gonna rank mine based on my favorites, and then you'll see like a
Yeah.
lot of them are in S tier.
I can't wait to get torn apart on the internet for my list. It's gonna be fun.
I'm sorry that just came out. I don't know what happened there.
I know I am in the very minority. That's why I'm not fighting for it.
All right.
That's my
I'll
personal feeling.
Lando, and I'll leave him there, and I'll let that go. Okay. All right. Pre Vizsla.
Important to the story of the
Clone Wars.
Clone
Yeah.
Wars and Rebels.
I think it's right around Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe less than Boba,
Mm,
more than Zeb.
I would put him less than Boba.
I think I would too, because Boba has more movie experience and everything else. I think he's got some things there that are more
And Boba's in
Clone Wars
2 shows now, plus multiple comics.
and Mandalorian, most likely.
Yeah. Well, that's the other show.
yeah. Well, Pre Vizsla was in Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah. Whoa.
Um,
Oh, Pre Vizsla wasn't in Rebels. He died in
Wasn't-
Clone
wasn't-
Wars. He died in Clone Wars.
fuck.
Maul killed him.
Boba,
I keep getting that scene and putting it in
Rebels?
Rebels every single time.
I get it. All right, I'll put him there. I think he's better than Zeb overall.
I personally don't like him better than Zeb, but
I like Zeb better. I just think that Vizsla is more important.
yeah, I agree.
All right. Qui-Gon Jinn. Ooh.
Oof.
A or
Yeah,
S,
I'd say
honestly. High A or S.
I don't know if I could put him in S. I just don't know.
Here's my argument of why you put him in S. He is the first Jedi to learn how to become a Force ghost, and he got
Yep.
the other Jedi to do that. So that is my argument. Story wise, why would I put him in S?
And as far as in the prequels, he was actually the one that was closest to being a Jedi. He was the real, not close to being a Jedi. He was the ideal Jedi. He was doing he was rogue against the Council, but he was actually doing things the right way.
Centered, and he brought in Anakin.
Yes.
So I'd put him in S.
All right.
Higher
I'll put
than
him
Kanan.
there. I'll put him higher than Kanan also, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't. We got so much more story with Kanan than we do with him. He
Nah.
may be technically a little bit more important because he brings him in, but
Yeah,
Kanan, we get so much more story with Kanan. We know so much
but
more
we're
about
talking
him.
about overall. Like we're not just taking a specific story.
Yeah.
Because that's what you guys told me for Mandalorian. So
That's true. We can revisit if we need to. All right, R2.
S.
S. Above Palpatine.
What?
Nope.
I can't put him up.
Nope.
Palpatine.
He's literally the droid that saved the galaxy.
He is just as important as Palpatine because he literally saves them in at least 5 or 6 movies.
Multiple times
Plus,
he
he
saves
also
them.
has the map to Luke, which is the only reason BB-8's that high.
And he fell asleep for 40 years also.
No, he didn't.
Whatever
He fell
it was.
asleep for a few years.
A few years, whatever it was. I agree. I agree that he's S tier. I love him in S tier. I'm happy with him being S tier. I just don't know if I can put him down. I don't think I can put him above Palpatine though. I can't do it above Palpatine. I could put him right next to Palpatine above Obi-Wan. Potentially.
Accepted.
Yeah, I can accept that. I
Justin,
think he should be above Palpatine. But
Me and Weston are pretty much on the same wavelength with all the rankings.
and bringing Anakin is not a demerit. Come on now. If Qui-Gon had trained Anakin, he wouldn't turn dark side.
Yes.
maybe.
It's just Anakin
Debate.
suffered so many losses. His mother, Qui-Gon, Ahsoka, Padme. It's just
I agree. I actually agree with Justin on that. Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm going to give him. I think we're on the same mindset on that, Justin. So,
yeah, but Justin is dark side, so his
Yeah.
favorite doesn't matter.
so am I.
I'm dark side too.
All right.
Yeah.
Ray.
Am I the only?
Come on now. Everybody died in the list pretty much. Luke died
Except
too.
for R2.
Your favorite Luke was number 1 and he died. Demerit. Zach.
He
I'm-
transferred into the living force. Okay.
Okay. Ray.
Right. Honestly, I'd put her A below Lando. That's where I'd put her.
Below Lando. Wow.
Yeah, right between. Yep, that's probably
I
where I put her.
I
too.
would put her above because, again,
I'll
if
put
we're
her above
talking
Lando.
story, she's literally the end all be all. Like
That
quite
we know
literally,
of,
the
yeah.
story
And
ends
we
with
don't know
her.
what's
I
gonna
also
happen
think
next.
that Rey has meant a lot to kids. She's a very big hero.
Oh,
in
I
the
love
trilogy.
Rey.
I would put
love
her above.
Rey.
I would actually put her above Ezra.
I would put her above Ezra too. Not personally, but in this list.
I'd actually put her above Hera. I would go that high.
I wouldn't, and again, not personally, but above in this list.
If you
To
put her
me,
in
she's
front of
S
Kylo,
tier.
I'm
To me,
leaving.
she's S tier.
By the way, Justin, I actually agree with you. I agree with you. With
Yes, I agree too.
I disagree, but a lot of people don't agree with us here.
To me, she's S tier because again,
Rey,
to
is
the
that
story. Yes, because to the story, she's very new. Okay, so you don't have all the stuff you got with a lot of the older characters. She's very new, but she literally is the catalyst in the end of the story that we've gotten so far. She's the embodiment of the Jedi. And as much as whether you love it or hate it, she is the embodiment of the Jedi. And again, she is this new trilogy.
She
in the
is.
story.
She is.
And my niece loves her to death.
Mhm.
And when she comes on screen, my niece almost cries. So
I will
that's-
say Kylo is more important than
Yeah,
Rey. I'll agree with that.
I agree.
I
And
like
if we're bringing
Kylo.
kids into it, my kids named our cat Kylo, so that says anything.
And my niece dresses up as Rey every year.
That's true. That's true. All right, I'll do that for now. I don't like seeing Rex go that low, but I understand why to a degree. Unfortunately, in the future years, when TV is ranked as high as the movies, I think the movies have a little bit of an outranking in the TV so far. It's changing, obviously now, but I do think that right now the movies are outranking them. So Rey and Kylo's importance go above back for me. But let's say Ahsoka does have a better story than Rey. I do agree with that.
Oh, much better story.
Okay.
Is she more important though?
All right, Sabine. She's one of those I think you guys are going to rank her too high because potential. She got potential, but I don't know if she.
I personally, I love her. I think her story is amazing. I would put her in A tier.
I think she's
I
high.
don't-
I would say she's somewhere around.
I wouldn't be mad if she's B.
It's not
I would-
a little bit, Weston.
I would say high B too, because she's not that important to the overall story as of yet.
It's potential.
But she's got some amazing character moments.
Mhm.
She's just an amazing character, is what she is.
I think she's better than Din so far. I do think she's better than Din so far. So
So far, yes. But I think Din has a possibility of passing her up if she doesn't come up in the next couple stories.
yeah, I agree. Okay. And that's true. She does have dope music. Thrown, you're right. Snoke. Ooh,
He's not important.
he's
He
not.
really isn't. I hate it, but he's not.
I don't know where I put him though. I can't disrespect him and put him in like this low though either. Though I mean, he did enough in Last Jedi, Force Awakens to be
And he turned Kylo basically.
right. God, Snoke is so hard for me
Hard.
because there's part of me that thinks he's at like up in the B tier, and part of me thinks he's like in the D tier. Because he's actually kind of like related to Palpatine in a way. I could actually almost put him. I could almost skip him, to be honest. Because of
Personally, I'd put him probably number 2 in D tier.
number 2 in D tier.
Yeah.
Below
He
Wicket.
had one scene below Wicket. He had one scene in
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens, and he died in The Last Jedi. So
Yeah, it's
debatable.
it's not
So
entirely
hard.
solid. It's kind of twisted upward. I'll put him in there. I'm fine with him there because I don't really think he's that important overall. He had one big scene in the throne room. That was it. So, okay, Yoda and Thrawn.
I don't know what to do with these two characters.
Yeah, let's start Yoda.
S tier.
Yoda's an
Yeah.
S tier, obviously at this point.
He's above Kanan. I mean, I'm without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he's probably above Qui-Gon, I gotta say. That's why I love Qui-Gon. I think he's not. Qui-Gon was the ideal Jedi, and Yoda fucked up a lot in the prequels, the Clone Wars. But I think that he's definitely got to be.
Honestly, if we're talking story, he's above Palpatine, and here's why: he's in the Star Wars universe. He's through more of the story. He not only lives longer, he also affects after his death Luke in The Last Jedi. Not to mention all the stuff in the prequels, in the Clone Wars, in Rebels, he's in there. And he might be in the New High Republic. He's got so much story.
I can't put him above Palpatine. Palpatine was the impetus for everything that was evil in the galaxy. Yoda lost to him. And
no, Yoda beat him. In the end, Yoda beat him.
When?
At the end of Rise of Skywalker.
That's all the Jedi beat all the Sith moment.
Well, Yoda's on the Jedi, so.
But that's a hollow fight right there. That's a hollow fight right there. I think Yoda got his ass kicked when he fought Sidious one by one-on-one.
For
I
the
would put him
story,
just-
though, I wouldn't put him above, though. Above Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon? I don't think so.
I mean, he trained.
Oh, he's definitely more than Qui-Gon, I think.
But not Obi.
Story-wise. Obi-Wan, I could agree that Obi-Wan maybe.
For overall Skywalker story, and because he's the main point in Skywalker story, I don't think so. I don't think so. That's true. That's all he does. He has like that one awesome scene in
He has that great art in Clone Wars, though, too,
Yeah.
where he learns from the will.
yeah.
And then he also helped Ezra and Kanan in Rebels.
Yeah. I'm gonna put him, I think, right there is where he fits in well, to be honest with you. Overall.
This is just breaking my heart, man.
Where do you put Ahsoka
No.
over him?
I prefer Ahsoka to him personally.
All right, let's come back. Is there anyone else? Okay, we got Thrawn.
My favorite character of all time. I love Thrawn. So
Thrawn
much.
is amazing.
Thrawn is A tier for me.
He is
As a,
absolutely
as a-
S tier to me.
as a character and as a look, he's S tier. As a
Yes.
part of the story, he's A tier.
He hasn't done enough, and especially in the canon. I
Hasn't.
mean,
He's got like 5 books in a series. He's like he's hooked
But
up
it's
with
all-
Vader and done things, and like he's
but it's all like side
mission.
stuff. It's all like one mission, and it's all side stuff from like in the unknown regions. So doesn't affect the main story overall. I do love Thrawn, and his legend stuff is legendary for a reason. I love Thrawn, but I don't know if I can put him in S tier for it. I think A tier is pretty high for him and good place for him. Adora, you're quiet over there.
Yeah, sorry, my dogs were barking. I think he's A tier. For look and brain, I would put him S tier.
Interesting. That's all I'm in reading side quest at this point. He was the big baddie in the books for a long tier.
And even though I don't think he's S tier, he literally redefined a Star Wars bad guy.
mhm.
I
hate it, but I think he's A, and I hate that.
I want to put him in S tier, but I don't know if I could put him over just putting like this at this point. It seems weird to me.
I don't know. Seems pretty right to me.
Yeah, I feel good with that right there.
You're not wrong, Mike. You're not wrong.
He's also got potential.
He does have potential. He absolutely has potential. He's definitely. I mean, he was the most important Legends villain. I think they brought him to the canon for a reason because he was that
Yes,
important.
and they're making him an important canon villain right now.
For all we know, he could be the reason the New Republic is so weak in the beginning of
All right,
Force Awakens.
I will put him in low S tier. I'll put him in the lowest spot in S tier.
Thank you.
but it's tough.
Tough.
It's tough. All right, it's tweak time. I know Bedora's got to go in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So let's go tweak time now. Oh boy. Okay.
Wait,
Let's
what
go back-
about the other characters?
Oh shit, that's right. Other characters, really quick. We'll try to do this. Akbar, Admiral Akbar. Where would you put him?
B.
B.
B. I'm good with B. I put him right about above Plo Koon.
Yeah.
Good enough. Okay. So Plo Koon. I'll write that down real quick. Plo Koon. Akbar above Plo Koon. Grogu.
He's a little cutie and he's a perfect little baby, so he's gonna be S tier for me.
S tier. Get out. Get the fuck out.
He's not S tier.
He saved Star Wars.
He's
Think about it.
he did.
saved
All right.
Star Wars.
He did.
I mean, we do have a lot of characters. I know, like people are saying Babu Frick. We don't have Zori Bliss. We don't have a lot of characters that we don't.
Yeah, I did have to. I picked this thing. It was kind of representative of a bunch. There's still some that are definitely missing. There's no Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things we're missing. So
Yeah.
you know what? Maybe we should just stick to what we have and like not try to add because we start adding things. We're gonna start
Yeah.
adding more and more and more.
Be here
Yeah,
for
I
2
feel
more
like
hours.
we won't be done. We won't be
Yeah.
done.
All right. So we're not gonna put Grogu. We're not gonna put Akbar. Missing Cad Bane. Unfortunately, we're missing Hondo and Naka, who I absolutely love.
Who is S tier?
Characters.
Hondo is S tier, no doubt. In my personal list. So.
Yeah.
My
my-
personal list, Hondo is S tier, but Hondo is probably A or B tier overall, probably in realistic life. But I love him as S tier. I'm off Gideon also. Okay, so then let's go to our tweaking at this point. I think the most important discussion we have to have is, right, Justin? I agree, but is Kylo Ren?
He deserves S tier.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 14 fucking S tier people.
There's
But this
like
is Star Wars.
here's the thing: that Star Wars and Star Wars does bring out really good characters once they flesh them out.
Yep.
And I feel like that's why Kylo is not an S tier, is because he's not completely fleshed out yet. He's still going back and forth the whole time. Like people are like, I know Kelsey was saying like he's a better version of Luke. Luke was never debating going to the dark side.
Well,
I feel
I
like
would
he
agree
was.
with that. I think that's one of his problems is he's. But that's not an argument to get into right now.
You guys, he just.
I agree too.
He just cared.
Abador, I think you're being overruled. I think you're being overruled.
I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. That's just like personal opinion.
I will put him at the lowest spot of S tier.
That's fine because I like Thrawn a little bit better than him anyway, so it's perfect. But those two like that.
And yeah, I agree, Justin. Bo was supposedly a better thing overall. He's better reputation, but Cad Bane's been a better story. All right, I'll put Kylo in S, and that's where I'm keeping it. Are you keeping Rey in A then?
I think if you put Kylo in S, Rey has to be an S.
I don't agree.
I don't agree either. I think Kylo's better than Rey as a character overall. Rey's too much of a blank slate character for me to put up as higher than anything else. And there's still a dyad. Like, he's the lowest in S and she's the highest in A. So there's still technically a dyad. They're still there.
They're still beside each other. We're good.
They're still beside each other in the most important ways. All right. Let's see real quick. Anything else we have to do? Poe and Lando. I agree with you guys, but they're gonna come and they want Poe, so I'm gonna let them have that one. I guess the only other thing we got to do then is the Palpatine thing.
He's perfect where he is. Let's leave him there.
He should be number 2.
I think he's be number 2 also.
I think you guys are too far into the dark side. You need to let your mind slide more toward the middle.
Fedor, what do you have to say, real quick?
I think he's where he's supposed to be.
They were split.
I want to throw it out there in the chat.
No. You're throwing it out there in the chat because we don't know. You're not changing on your own.
Well,
No,
no,
I agree with him. We're split. I
We're
agree
both
with
correct, 'cause
PLD.
Kelsey and I are on one side, you guys on the other. So Palpatine is number 2, or Palpatine is number 4? Because obviously, if he's better
We're
than
gonna
Luke,
listen
he's better
to
than
chat.
Leia.
Luke is gonna be number 1.
Well, no, maybe. Well, talking about just Palpatine. Palpatine
Yeah, we're
versus
just
Luke
talking
and
about
Leia. 'Cause Luke and Leia are staying together.
Yeah.
Wait, Zach, when was I shitting on Palpatine? I might have been doing just to bust your balls because I actually love Palpatine. Palpatine's one of my favorite characters. I might have been doing that to just to bust your balls. that could be that way. I've been
We just want the one that we know.
All right, so Palpatine as number 2 or Palpatine as number 4? Hit me up, chat, real quick. Anybody?
So he
I
stayed
agree,
where he is.
Ferris.
Let's go. Let's end the stream. End the stream. Let's get it over with.
We're gonna say we're gonna end it. You have 2 minutes. People have 2 minutes to say this. I'll give you 2 minutes. If you Streamlab it, I'll count your vote twice.
We have a lot of 4s, so there we go.
2, 4. Where's Justin? That's what I want to know. Where's Justin?
A
Oh,
lot
so
of
now
2
we're
is just
looking for-
a split person, but he's very passionate.
It's the same person. It doesn't count.
Yeah, only one vote. We're not doing this. There's no election fraud. here.
Only
No
one.
stuffing.
Only one vote for 2.
No stuff in the ballot boxes.
No stuff in the ballot boxes. Can you Streamlab Han to be number 1? Hey, if you give me $100, I'll put Han number 1 right away. No doubt. I can definitely be bought.
Justin says Palp is 1.
So
So
I think everyone else is
Ferris-
saying 4. Though most people are saying 4. So I'm sorry, guys. By the way, I can't put Palpatine over Vader. I think Vader is the most important character in the Star Wars saga.
I
So Luke, Leia, Palpatine. No, Luke is definitely not number 1. That I have to say.
He's my number 1.
He can be your number 1, and that's fine. But I just think overall the story, no, you're lucky he's number 3. That's what we're gonna go with. That's the solid answer. We're done here. We're done. This is our thing. This actually wasn't as egregious as I thought it could be. We agreed that we were in the same ballpark for the most of it. I like that. Varys will not let this go. Not let this go. Yeah. All right. That's what we have.
I'm happy because Luke is higher than most people would have put him, and Jar Jar isn't the last one, so I'm good.
Kelsey, what's your thought? Last thoughts.
I got Thrawn and Kylo in S tier. I feel like I won tonight, so I'm good.
All right, we got one more Streamlab real quick before I give Adora's thoughts where she goes. Askle again says Palpatine is number 1 overall. Yes, it's about the rise and fall of Anakin, but Palpatine manipulated Anakin and everyone else in the prequels. Rise of the Empire. They manipulate Ben to Kylo via Snoke, the First Order, and the Final Order. Without him, there is no chain of events. Yes, I understand that, and I agree to a point. But as far as you're talking in-story events, yes, he is the key cog. But as far as the overall story, like the more mythical story goes, I think Vader's a more important character to it. That makes sense. But either way, we're done here. I appreciate all your thoughts. I love it. I would put Palpatine number 2.
You didn't get Bedor's thoughts.
Yeah.
Bedor. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bedor. You're right. I'm sorry.
I'm happy with it, honestly.
Okay.
Some things I would change, obviously. That's why we're gonna do our own after this and link it below the main tweet of this, the one that PLD sent.
Definitely will. I'm going to save this now so I can. Let me save this one so I can present this later on as the official one, and then we'll put our own one underneath there. So, all right, guys. Bedor, where can the folks find you?
You can find me on the Let's Get Ready YouTube channel and on Twitch for Let's Get Ready MTS, and on my Twitch BIDOOR. And after this, like right after this, I'm going to be on the PJC Network Twitch channel. We're going to be playing games with Jen Kemp and Robert Parker. So come watch me lose my mind.
Nice. Jerry, where can the folks find you?
Okay, you can find me in the chats of everybody else's work because I don't do anything myself because then I don't get yelled at. So
Fair
Bedor, Twitch, Paul's Action Army, Kelsey C2A, that's where you can find me.
Perfect. Kelsey, where can the folks find you?
All right, you can find me at KelseyKins90 on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me at Miss Queenkins on Instagram. That's my cosplay page. C2A, I'm there all the time. You can find me there. And you can find me here a lot as well. So
Sure. I like her a lot, and I love you for it. All right, you can find me at Paul_Denizio on Twitter. You can find me on Call to Action. You can find me on Action Industries. You can find me on SCN Network for Coming Up Next. You can sometimes find me a lot of different places. That's all I need to know. I'm on the whole crowd sometimes when the door lets me on, and I'll try to be on as many times as I can there. So I love that show as well. Yeah, and that's it. Otherwise, I guess that's it. Thank you guys for appearing. Thank you guys for showing up.
Oh, one more thing.
Go ahead.
Someone in the chat mentioned Wilro Hood, and we'll be talking about him on next week's show on the hologram.
That's gonna be good.
Ooh, I like that one. I definitely like that one. Not a sequel hater. Not a sequel hater, Zach, just so you know. All right, guys. Let me just put this little thing.
I love the sequel trilogy, by the way.
All right, guys.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.